Howdy, y'all, and welcome to Liberty Libations. I'm starting off the stream solo. Everybody is in the waiting room waiting to come in. So let's introduce them one at a time this week. We've got Mr. Zane Placie. We've got
how are you?
Mr. Alden Hardee. We've got Nick Ciesieslki. And we've got my sister-in-law, Mrs. Hannah Green.
Hannah. Here.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Tired.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Alden just moved from Washington State to Tennessee. So he's been on the road for like a week and a half. Had a little pit stop in Montana with me where we, went to a lake, shot some guns, ate some food. It was great.
Yeah, it was the best part of the trip, for sure.
Yeah, you like booked it the rest of the way. Y'all got there pretty quick after that.
Yeah, I think I should have gone slower.
There were a couple days where I thought y'all might have died because you didn't respond to my text and no one had heard from you and it was just emptiness. So I thought maybe it was over.
I did die. My soul is dead.
I'm sure it is. You sound tired. Not to be
Yeah.
insulting.
No, it's okay. I honestly, I feel like a worn out man. I feel 58 years old. That's how I feel.
Oh, nice. Well, it's better than being 60, I guess. All right. Well, Nick bailed on us. So, all right, y'all. To get this started, per usual, we're going to talk about how you can go to lpgeorgia.com to learn so much about the Libertarian Party, what we believe in, what we do. You can reach out to anybody at the Libertarian Party of Georgia to learn more about our organization and get involved. We've got things like the Brushfire speaking course that you can sign up for, which will teach you how to
start brushfires.
Start brushfires. It'll teach you how to be a better public speaker.
I took the first session of that.
Yeah, how'd it go?
I actually highly recommend it. I took the good. I didn't take. I'm not taking it this time around, but I took the first time it was offered last year.
Nice.
And,
so are you going to be a professional public speaker now, Nick?
Course.
You're going to be a professional public speaker?
I mean, all I have to do is find someone dumb enough to pay me for it, right?
Fair enough. So another big event. What's up?
I recognize Wormslow is one of the photos that they've got there. Wormslow, Savannah.
Yes. Yeah. It's this one.
Right there. Yeah.
Boom. That is in Savannah, Georgia, where me and Alden went to college. Another thing that's coming up is Range Day down at Osprey Shooting Solutions. Yeah, in Rome, Georgia. I guess it's next Saturday. So a week from this coming Saturday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. So not that Eastern needs to be specified. Most of y'all are in the East.
I am now, yeah.
Is Chattanooga Eastern? I guess it's between Chattanooga and Nashville that it turns to.
It's like it's like maybe 20 minutes from Chattanooga that it changes.
I've just got in, yeah.
It's nice. Okay. That seems so weird. Like, it's barely the width of Georgia is the Eastern time zone. And then the Central time zone goes from there to the end of Texas. Like, that's how enormous.
Almost the end of Texas.
Almost. El Paso is technically in the mountain, but whatever.
Almost.
Wait, hold on one second. I forgot my mic. I'm surprised you guys can hear me. I think it's running off of like the mic on my pad.
That's probably why there's a echo.
That is why. Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah. We will not hold on. Okay. Well. Osprey Shooting Solutions. July 29th, Saturday, basically 9 days from now, 11 to 3. Last time was fantastic. We had a lot of people there. Everybody had a good time. So make sure you go sign up. You can go to our website, lpgeorgia.com, to learn more.
Should get Edgar on next week to promote it.
That'd be good. We should have Edgar on. Let's get him in here. We'll see. We'll reach out to him. He just did a podcast. What's it? Watch Your Six or something like that. I Got Your Six. I don't remember what it's called, but he just did a podcast. Let's see. Got our first comment. Grumpy Gnome says, "Hey, Hannah,
Grumpy gnome.
All right, y'all. Let's go into our first story of the day. This is a Georgia story. Let me refresh the page. Apologies. There we go. Oh my gosh. Come on. There we go.
Driving a Dodge Charger, a souped-up Dodge Charger belongs to the sheriff's office. I just clocked this son at 96 in a 35. Really? License in the back. Yeah. Sir, here's your ID back. This is your copy of the citation. Well, if you would sign right here, it's got a court date, time it's a must appear. Yes, sir. Please slow down and have a safe day.
Goodness gracious. So this was the chief deputy of Henry County, got pulled over for doing 96 in a 35.
Wow.
96 in a 35.
I just want to point out that like the first comment you see on that video there, below all the text from it was like, oh, good to see them held accountable. And it's like, any normal person's not getting a citation for that. They're getting a reckless driving charge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're getting arrested. They're getting all sorts of stuff happen to them. They're getting harassed by the police.
That's not being held to the same standard. He knew what he was doing. He's like, man, at least he did something, right? I mean, we see them too often holding that, them in there, my thin blue line.
Yeah.
But at least there's something. Docked a week of pay.
Docked his pay, 40 hours. But I mean, that's
at least it's something for once. But
yeah.
I mean, yeah, Eddie, I'm saying the same thing, right? Anyone else would have gotten arrested on that.
Mm-hmm.
Was he on duty when this happened?
No, he wasn't on duty.
The car was owned by the station?
Yeah, the car was owned by the station, but he wasn't on duty.
Yeah, that already is problematic.
Like, why do police get to drive state vehicles when they're not on duty? That's my question. Like, why are we paying for them to drive vehicles owned by the taxpayer on their own personal time?
Maybe that's why he was driving 96, is because he's like, I got to get home fast because I shouldn't be in this car.
Definitely. They were both in uniform too. That's why I was wondering. Maybe it was
maybe just got off work or something.
Back to the station. It was wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time to be going 96. Yeah, there's plenty of places in America where you can go 96 for sure,
but not in a 35.
Montana's got a few of them.
Oh man,
a 35 zone is probably not where you want to be testing out the right side of the speedometer.
You're probably correct.
There's just there's like 50 or 60 miles per hour of speed in a car that I feel like it's not ever illegal to use. Like all these speedometers go up to 160. Who is ever driving these cars this fast?
Yeah, I don't think my little Honda has 160.
Yeah, it's rare to get up above 120.
Is Steven joining tonight, or is he just going to be commenting like an
he's
online
in traffic because he's in traffic because he won't go 100 in a 35.
Fair enough. Touche. You just burned Sammy Hagar.
I said that so many times on the way out here. I was like 55. Like every time I saw 55, I was probably really annoying to Haley on the road.
You were definitely annoying, but that's
oh my god,
for many other reasons besides that one. Let's see. Look at how he does mount man arms. buddy, just go away, you dumb turd. I put that up before I even saw the end of that.
Is that Buddy?
Gosh,
that's Buddy.
Oh man.
Yeah, I wish you
could.
Yeah,
this was a family show, Jake.
It is definitely not a family show. Do not think this is a family.
We try to keep it somewhat friendly, but when
we don't.
PG-13.
People cuss on this show constantly. We do not try to keep it friendly. No, the family-friendly
my
show is
infant
the
daughter
Free
is
Georgia
watching in
podcast.
the next room.
Your infant daughter, if she can swear, it's
Only if she can swear
that's very
is she
impressive.
allowed on. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll
Hey,
see.
girl. God. Well,
He's talking
I don't
to me.
know. Where is Zane? Can you tell people where Henry County is? I think I know, but I can't
No.
remember. Okay.
It's just south of Atlanta, like to the southeast.
Is that where?
Who can keep track of the Georgia counties, man?
It's like the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Oh, okay. I mean, there are way too many counties. How many counties are there in Georgia? Like 143
Like
or something?
160 something.
159.
Goodness gracious! Like, isn't that more counties than almost every other state?
Every state except Texas.
Yeah, which is many times larger. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
It's
so the
insane.
guy, it just blows my mind that the guy's sitting there and not looking like he's sorry at all. He just looks like he's.
I think
upset
he
that got
looks
caught.
grateful to only be getting the citation, honestly. Like, he knows he's screwed up, but
I think he knows he's screwed up, but I think he's like, yeah, I'll do this again in the future. Like,
that's probably true.
I didn't
Well,
get
they
the
don't learn.
remorse from him.
Not
Yeah,
enough.
isn't that normal for a comment section either way? Yeah, I mean, for most comment sections, in any comment section that Buddy is in, that's pretty normal. So. All right. Anybody else have any other degrading things to say about the Henry County Police Department before we move on?
Well, they just had that shooting down there this past week. That was in Henry.
That doesn't seem like it's the fault of the police department, though. Did they how'd they handle it?
I don't know. It seemed like the guy ran around for a while before they killed him. So
That sounded like a video game. Like,
yeah, I have no idea. I'm just saying you asked about the Henry County Police, and I was like, well, this happened, that happened there.
Okay, well,
That was
let's
like
try
last
not to bring things up if you don't know anything about them.
Why would it? Isn't that the point of this show? I say things and then we fill it in. I don't know. That's
We should rename the show No Show Prep.
No show prep.
hey.
I
sent
worked
a couple articles.
hard to prep for this show. I
I
spent
did too.
hours and
ChatGPT
hours.
to make trivia questions.
I had to unclog my drains and line my cabinets before
you
this
got-
show.
You got internet though. That's pretty.
I
cool.
do have internet, yeah.
Let's see.
Actually,
Jeez, with the
Chattanooga
random
has some of the
facts.
best internet.
Steven says Shaq almost ran for sheriff before Soros planted the DA in Henry County.
Jeez, Sheriff
How
Shack
would
be
he know
sweet.
that? Can you imagine?
Because he's from that side of the city. He's from the
Is he?
from southern Atlanta. Yeah.
Can you imagine getting pulled over by Shaquille O'Neal? I mean, you'd literally be staring him in the crotch when he came to your window. Like,
No,
Yeah,
the good thing about being pulled over by Shaq is you don't get a ticket. He just gets 2 free throws.
yeah, no.
Tell him, yeah, if he makes both, then you'll pay the fine, you know.
There we go. I like
Yeah.
that. That seems like a decent trade, you know? Like,
Yeah, and
all
you're
the
not going to
stupid
pay that
shit-
fine.
For all the stupid crap we get arrested or tickets are arrested for, like, that seems like a pretty decent trade. Like, if the deputies can, you know, make 2 free throws in a row, then no ticket, or then you get the ticket. Otherwise,
Yeah,
no ticket.
yeah.
Or maybe just a free throw
Or-
competition.
Or what about a shooting competition? Right?
I was
They
gonna
pull out
say
their
that too,
They
yeah.
pull out their guns. And you on the side of the road, see who can hit the target.
I
Yeah.
can't see how this would go wrong.
No,
I
no, no,
can't-
it's perfect, yeah.
There's definitely no problems with a victim pulling out their gun.
Do like
while
a
cop is
full
there.
super bad situation, like at a sign, like empty the clip, you know.
God.
They'd
I shot
probably
that
be
cat
cops
last week.
spending their time practicing their shot rather than patrolling and pulling people over for nothing. So
Okay,
it could be actually worth
I
it.
like that point. Now let's, instead of shooting, let's do a foot race, so that they'll actually be in shape and not be.
There you go.
Do we want them in
completely
shape?
useless?
Do
I'd
we
rather
want
them,
them in shape?
it would be better if they're in shape, because if you're in shape and you actually, how about a jiu-jitsu match there on the side of the road? How about just something that
Dunk contest.
contest?
If they get in shape, they might get some more self-respect and stop being cops.
There we go. Gosh, that is the best.
Burns, eh?
Best argument. Good job, Zane.
God.
All right, we're gonna leave Georgia now. I don't know how old this clip is, but I just found it, and the whole thing infuriates me. It's a couple minutes, so just sit back and enjoy after I refresh it once again.
What is something you said or did that you knew was a lie?
I don't know if I can say that. But, there's a time when the governor signs bills or vetoes them. So when you veto a bill from the legislators, then you write a veto message. Or there was one legislature that I didn't like at all. And so I vetoed his bill, but I wanted to make sure that he really gets the message. So I wrote each line on the veto message, each line had to start with a certain letter that when you go down the line, it says you. When they discovered that, the press, they said to me, says, did you know that they said you?
Yeah.
And I said, no, wait a minute. Where does it say that? Let me check that out.
All right. So while it is hilarious in theory, this is a guy who is in charge of governing.
Governoring. I think in his case, that's actually
governing
accurate. Yeah.
the state of California, which has millions and millions and millions of people, and he vetoed a bill based on spite. Like all these people,
That's
who
some
say
leadership.
all these people who say they're good people in positions of power, they're there to do the best for you. Well, no, they're freaking not. They are just as petty and ridiculous as every other person that you know in real life.
I mean, we voted in someone that was like a muscle pageant winner. You know what I mean? Like, how petty is that? Like, I don't know. You should have known.
He was the governor.
I kind of like stuff like this because it's just really annoying when politicians sit up on a high horse and are like, oh, we're so awesome and serious and we're better than everybody else. Having acrostic poems that tell people to go F themselves, that kind of reminds everybody that the politicians are just humans. And so the other fact is that given that it was a bill in California, there's a 99% chance it was bad, so he probably should have vetoed it anyway.
So you're on the side of vetoing just by default.
Yeah, I'm kind of on board with Zane here. We're like, I just kind of like to see like chaos when it comes to the elected officials.
Look, what I'm saying,
the chaos, like it's gonna be ridiculous anyway, so it might as well be entertaining, and like
but what I'm saying is that like all these people who believe in democracy need to understand, like need to actually not laugh at this clip and understand that this is what those democratically elected people do. They do personal vendettas. They only care about what they want. They don't give a crap about you. The bill could have been good. It might have been repealing a law. Who knows? You're never going to know because this idiot decided to veto it out of spite. Like, it's ridiculous.
And that's why we need a monarchy.
Steven.
Mr. Steven Hilton, welcome, brother.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
How was that?
Finally made it. So I was driving 96 miles an hour, and I get pulled over by this cop, and he says, "Hey, is there a reason why you're going so fast?" I said, "Man, I'm on the Libations podcast. I got to get to it." And he pulled me over and took a selfie and handed me a beer.
There we go.
And he let you go through the school zone. You know,
that's right. Yeah, he escorted me home.
That's my
And
kind
he was
of
about
cop.
7 feet tall, and he's a former NBA player.
So you've been following, yeah.
All right. Well, Steven, do you have any comments on the Terminator vetoing a bill just based on the fact that he didn't like somebody?
That's par for the course. And, if you think the Hollywood types, if you think that's just the left coast doing that kind of stuff, I'm here to tell you it happens in Georgia all the time.
Yeah.
And it's not just from special interest. It's So the process of really getting a bill passed, you have to get it introduced. They're all split up in these committees. These committees oversee various aspects of commerce and various legal frameworks and all that kind of stuff. And if the committee chair doesn't like you, or they think you introduced the bill out of turn, they don't even put it in the hopper. So it never even gets read to the rest of the legislator.
Yeah, there was a school choice bill last year's the 2022 legislative session that got killed because wasn't it the speaker who's now dead? Didn't he get offended that like a pro
David Ralston?
Conservative, pro-conservative group like was putting pressure to pass the bill, and he got all offended over some mailer they sent out and killed the bill himself.
Yeah. The guy that used his prestige as Speaker of the Georgia House to run child sex trafficking cases beyond the statute of limitations, so the defendant got off free.
Mm.
Yeah,
he's dead now.
Not to speak ill of the dead, but his reputation was marred long before he fell ill.
I have no problem speaking ill of the dead. We can do that all day on this show.
Depends on the dead. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
I hate 3% of myself.
Well, y'all, since everybody's now here, and Alden, are you gonna be able to stick around the whole time, or do you have to duck out early?
I'm gonna go as long as I can, but I might have to go a little early.
All right. Well, then we're gonna do trivia now, y'all. So let's rock this. Here we go.
Play that.
Let's see. Let's drag that sucker up
First
there.
trivia
How about
question.
that?
What beer am I drinking?
Haven't
had it in 6 years.
Yingling.
Yes, that's correct.
Nailed
so Jake
it.
wins trivia.
Yes, I finally got to answer a trivia question.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. If you
We can make
notice,
Zane put together trivia questions for next week, so you can play.
we now have that's not how this works. We
So
now
no
have
one
a
wins.
scoreboard. We now have a scoreboard. It's very high tech.
I love it.
That's not my hand going over there at all.
Sharpie Tech.
The categories are this day in history, which I think I'm going to do every single week. The first round will be this day in history, 10 questions, yada, yada, yada. The next category is in honor of our guest today, Miss Hannah Green. A Swift death.
Yeah.
All songs about Taylor Swift, or all questions about Taylor Swift. So
I'm just going to go get a beer for that round.
Who can take me?
I have 2 younger sisters, so I know more than I care to about it.
There we go.
All right, we'll see.
Then the final round is Christopher Nolan. So
right.
hopefully Robert Brumbelow can. He just watched Oppenheimer, so maybe he can get some right. I don't know if any of you.
I haven't seen that yet.
I'm boycotting watching movies as long as I'm on strike of watching movies as long as those idiots.
He's on strike. He's on fun strike. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, let me get. We gotta have the Fat Rat Unity music playing. Let me get everything pulled up here.
Can you repeat the rules, like the
answering
rules?
I'm getting there. 3 rounds. Already talked about that. Every question is a free-for-all. The first contestant to cover their camera with their hand will be called on by Jake to answer the question. If you blurt out an answer when it's not your turn, you lose 1 point. If a contestant answers, they cannot give another answer until all contestants have answered. The winner picks a topic to discuss the following episode, which we've not been doing, but you're welcome to if you want to.
Zane.
Let's see. Let me make sure everything.
I love this music in the background.
Hey, gotta have something, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Okay. First, here's the all-time scoreboard. Zane is 4, Nick is 3, Steve is 1, audience is 1, Alden is 0.
I'm losing to the audience.
I still can't believe the audience.
In trivia?
I mean, I've never
Not-
won. Yeah.
Okay.
The one time the audience won was when I was in the audience, so I'll just remind everybody.
So it went to
of
you.
that.
So
Yeah.
Zane just wins. Yeah.
I don't think I was here that week, so
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Round 1. And I do not call on anybody until I finish reading the question. You can put your hands up. I can see, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna keep reading the questions so that our listeners can hear the full questions. Here we go.
Fair.
On this day in 2012, what film was showing during the shooting in Aurora that left 12 dead and 70 injured? Zane.
The Dark Knight.
Wrong. Hannah.
That's what I was going to say. The Dark Knight Rises.
Hannah nailed it.
Dang it.
Oh. Whew. Okay.
Woo, how about that?
I was nervous
Sure,
on
I
that
thought
one.
I'm pretty sure it was. I thought it was the Dark Knight.
It's the Dark Knight Rises.
No. Yeah, you're right. 2012.
I know I'm right. These aren't ChatGPT questions, you did it. I came up with these all by myself.
Dark Knight was like 08 or something.
Yeah, Dark Knight was 08 and that was 2012. Here we go.
Never
Next
seen
question.
either of them.
Oh.
Sorry.
Rises was
Sorry.
filmed where I went to
Hang
college.
Hang on. She's gone.
I remember
No,
that.
she's not.
That fight scene between Batman and Bane in The Dark Knight Rises was filmed where I went to college.
Yeah, in
Where's that?
Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, Carnegie Mellon. They had that big fight scene right out front of it. Yeah, it was cool.
The
Yeah,
Steelers
that was-
were like
sick.
the team of Gotham in that.
You can
Yeah.
see my sister at the stadium as one of the extras in that.
Really?
Scene.
That's
The one guy standing behind Bane in the stadium.
Yeah.
When he's giving the big speech was the father of a guy I wrestled with in high school.
Nice. That's
This
awesome.
is some serious like local minutia trivia here. This is cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're going on to question number 2. On this day in 1976, what was the name of the first lander that touched down on Mars? Nick.
Voyager?
Wrong. Hannah. Nope. Okay.
I was going to say Rover, but they're all rovers.
Wrong.
I love
Zane.
it's just like a dog, like a little robot dog. Like,
Discovery.
Nope. Alden. Did you put your hand up?
no, but I'll take a guess.
Go for it.
Prometheus.
Wrong. Steven. You're the only one who hasn't answered.
The Mars rover.
Wrong. Y'all have 10 seconds. Oh wait, let me
The
see.
Dreamer.
Already put an answer.
Oh yeah, no.
Dreamer.
Buddy nailed it. Your mom.
Your mom. Yeah.
All right, y'all have 10 seconds. Audience, 10 seconds.
Elon Musk.
Dreamer.
Wrong.
Odyssey.
Intrepid.
Wrong.
I have no idea.
It's not coming to me.
Discovery.
2, 1, boom. Viking.
That's what I
won.
said. Viking won. Yeah.
All right, next question is: on this day in 1973, what actor and martial artist died? Zane Placie.
Jackie Chan.
Wrong.
What?
He's still alive.
I thought he. Yeah. I was
Wait, I
like,
thought he died. Oh wait, I said the wrong guy. No.
yeah, you did.
Steven was next, and then Nick.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce
Yeah.
Lee.
No.
The Crow. yeah.
You know what his favorite drink was?
Oh gosh.
Or not the Crow.
What's
Brandon
up?
was the Crow. What did you say? Oh my god. What year was the Crow when Brandon Lee died?
That was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Way later.
Did they both die on set?
Yeah.
No.
Well, no.
Bruce, I don't think Bruce Lee died on set.
I don't know how he died. I know his son died on set.
Yeah.
Well, now
I
I can't
love-
remember.
My favorite bit is that Jackie Chan died in 1973. That's my favorite bit of trivia from this whole show.
All right.
You,
Next.
you learn something new every day.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, he got better. And then they moved.
After he died, his career really took off after he died.
All right. Next question. On this day in 1944, what World War II mission failed? Steven,
Valkyrie.
describe what Valkyrie is.
It was an infiltration mission to take out Hitler from within.
There we go. Got it.
Nice.
Yeah. I didn't have the name of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the name of
Ah.
it. That was
You
It was a
get a
Tom
bonus
Cruise
point.
movie.
I was gonna say Tom Cruise was involved in this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, right? All right. Next question. On this day in 1881, who surrendered their army to the American military? Nick.
the French.
Wrong. Zane.
Sitting Bull.
That is unbelievable.
Man.
Wow.
Sitting
That's some bull.
Come on. The French always surrender.
Yeah, I mean that was a
Good
good
guess.
first guess for sure.
Pre-World War II, no, they did not.
I thought he was going to say Jackie Chan, but
Yeah, pre-World War II. You're right. All right, next
no,
question.
that's great, man.
On this day in 1969, with whom did President Nixon have a long-distance conversation after an historic event? Zane,
Armstrong.
name them both.
Armstrong and Aldrin.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
After the not faked moon landing.
Not faked. Right.
Yeah. I
They
had
actually landed in New Mexico.
I had to put that on there.
And
Question
Stanley
7.
Kubrick corrected it.
On this day in 1948, what military requirement did President Truman enact in response to the escalating tension of the Cold War? Zane,
Selective service.
define it.
The draft.
There you go. The peacetime draft.
Dang.
If Zane knows Taylor Swift, then y'all are all screwed.
I'm nervous.
sounds like
I'm
he-
nervous.
He knows more than me, man. Yeah.
All right, question number 8. On this day in 1933, which American author was born, eventually writing classic novels such as No Country for Old Men and The Road? Zane.
McCarthy.
Oh my God, you're such a turd, dude.
Wow.
All right, have you read that?
No.
Half a point.
The Road and No Country for Old Men are fantastic.
I've
Although-
seen the movies.
The movie No Country for Old Men is almost as good as the book, which
Is
never
the book
happens.
better? Because the movie is incredible, honestly.
Yeah, I know. It's a toss up, actually, in my opinion.
Trivia about that movie. Do you know that there's no music in the whole film?
Yes,
No
I did
music.
Know that.
It's
Not a
awesome.
single bit. It's
And they don't need
incredible.
it. It's
No.
crazy cool.
It just shows you don't need musicians at all. Musicians are a waste of space.
I'm very hurt.
All right, next question. On this day in 1968, which global sporting event held its inaugural competition? Hannah.
Special Olympics.
Nailed it.
Nice.
How about that?
Almost said Olympics. That would have been.
The first Olympics, 1968.
All right. Final question of the round. On this day in 1402, Bayezid I was defeated at the Battle of Ankara by Timur, resulting in the collapse of what empire? Alden.
I think Nick was first.
Okay, Nick.
The Byzantine.
Wrong.
Well, that was what I was going to say, so it just sounded like Bayezid, you know? So I
Well,
passed.
Ankara's Turkey. Byzantine was based out of, Constantinople. So
Make sure you actually cover the camera because when I'm reading, I can't see the whole camera. Steven, was that you covering the camera?
Yeah. Is it Persia?
No.
I'll go now.
Alden.
I'm just going to throw out Ottoman.
Boom!
Oh, yes.
Ottoman Empire. All
It's on the
right.
board.
the collapse of the Ottoman
Yeah,
Empire.
the Ottoman Empire didn't collapse until after World War One.
Right. The Ottomans took
It
over
collapsed
from the
twice. Hey, listen to me. Listen. It collapsed twice. It rumbled back into it. Had a rebirth way after 14.
It
Whatever.
rumbled back. Let's
After
get ready to
1402, it came
rumble.
back. It dwindled down
Nice.
to almost nothing and then came back. Okay, so shove it up your butts. I get it right.
I'll take it up my butt. I got a
This
point.
This is not Chat GPT questions. I actually did my research with these. All right, round number
Anything
2.
for a point.
Two points. 2 points per question.
Barbie?
It's not Barbie. It was going to be Barbie, and I forgot to change the slide.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it was going to be Barbie since that dumb movie came out this week. But the
There's a Barbie
trailers,
movie?
the trailers look horrendous. Like,
What would you expect from that kind of movie, though?
well, the costume design and the set design and all that looks spot on. But my gosh, it's supposed to be like a funny, lighthearted movie. It looks terrible.
Is it animated or live action or
It's Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling.
live action?
Live action.
Okay.
Yeah. Hannah, you
mean-
gonna go see it?
Likely not.
Yeah.
My sister's
anyway.
going opening night tomorrow. I've
She's
heard
dressing
endless
up?
things.
Is your husband gonna go see it opening night?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I
I'll hang
figured,
with
yeah.
baby. He's got to go see Barbie. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just here for the memes online. The Barbie Oppenheimer crossover is what is.
Yeah, someone
loving
made a
that.
Barbie Oppenheimer crossover trailer, which was hysterical.
They're hilarious. They're genuinely
Barbenheimer.
funny.
Yeah, that's what it
Barbenheimer,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, Barbenheimer.
They're great
Yeah.
shirts, great memes. It's been
Love
good.
And I like that the lead actress is Australian. You know, so go put another shrimp on the Barbie.
Open up a Foster's. Yeah.
Gosh, I wish I
Good
had
one.
Fed logos for this setup right here.
Oh, I was waiting for it honestly, but I didn't know it didn't work
I
for
can't.
this.
It only works when we're on our normal chat. It's not trivia. All right. First question of round 2. In what year did Taylor Swift release her self-titled debut album? Zane.
I'll go 2006.
let me see. Hang on. Oh my god.
I can't. I can't believe you got that right. How did you get that right?
That was kind of a guess, but I just guessed off what age was I when I started realizing my sisters were listening to Taylor Swift.
And how?
I've got
Wow.
a CD called
What year were
06
you
Mix
born?
that has some Taylor Swift on it.
What year were you born, Zane?
I was born in 2000.
Oh my gosh. That's so
Were you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
You're old.
Next
Yeah, I
question.
know.
No, I'm kidding.
Which Taylor Swift album won the Grammy for Album of the Year?
And
Zane.
wait, Zane was first.
Speak Now.
Wrong. Hannah.
No. Fearless.
Fearless is correct.
This is
No,
the round I
says
just drink beer. I
His
don't know.
sister's.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Nope's accusing you of being a Swiftie, Zane.
All right. Let's see here. Next
I'll
question.
get faster.
Which song from the album 1989 won the Grammy for Song of the Year? Hannah.
Shake It Off.
Hang on. Let me check.
Ask ChatGPT.
I'm actually what did that win Song of the Year? I'm not actually sure, but I don't know what else it would be.
Let me
No.
make sure I did it correct. I may have made a mistake.
It's quite possible.
Hang on 1 second, y'all. No, I didn't make a mistake. I did it correct. And Hannah, you're wrong.
Shake It Off. No. Okay, I know what it is.
Who? Zane.
Blank Space.
It is Blank Space.
Jeez.
Not
I'm
to
gonna
be
have
that
get off
guy.
this stream and just
There we go. Now those are literally the only 2 Taylor Swift songs I know. So
Not to be that guy, but I'm pretty sure that Shake It Off is from the previous album, not 19.
Okay,
Not
it's
to be
not.
that guy.
It's not.
Zane, the chat's
Not.
accusing you of being a Swiftie and not having.
Well,
sisters.
they're wrong. I just know a lot of things about a lot of things.
That's
Hang
fair.
It's on the album.
It's on.
You're gonna
It's on.
have
I
to
can
Robert in the
confirm
know.
that it is on the album.
Oh,
I know at
okay.
least that
Well,
much.
So Zane is wrong on that regard.
see,
All
I
right.
said it wrong on purpose to get people off my scent about being a Swift.
You're not beating the
Smoke
allegations,
screen.
Zane.
All right, next question. What is the title of the documentary that chronicles Taylor Swift's life and career? Hannah.
Miss Americana.
Miss Americana is correct.
I'm not even trying on these ones.
I was gonna make up
worth it.
some shit.
Hey,
but
hey, y'all don't need to put out disclaimers. You guys suck. It's just not your fault, you know?
yeah, it's
All
not
right.
a false. We have good taste in music, you know.
All right, next question. What company has Taylor Swift, along with many other artists, called out for their questionable business practices that tend to upset and anger concertgoers? Zane.
Ticketmaster.
Ticketmaster, which is 100% true, and Ticketmaster sucks. Actually, all those
They all
Like,
suck.
they all suck. I end
Live
up paying
Nation,
almost
Ticketmaster.
double.
Yeah,
Like you end up paying almost double. The fees are insane.
they let robots basically swipe everything, and then they, people have to buy them back from them, and they get their fees anyway. It doesn't even matter. But that one I would have got just because.
Robert
Ticketmaster
pulled over
sucks.
in his car to say, "Steven and I may be fed, but Zane is definitely a Swift."
Nice.
All right, y'all. After 2 rounds, Zane has 10, Hannah has 6, Steven has 2, Alden has 1, and Nick has the big goose egg tonight. Nick, you're not representing that second place title that you have very well.
Well, I've been slow on the buzzer. We have more people than usual here tonight.
It's true. This is a packed crowd tonight.
That
All
sounds
right.
like an excuse.
Kick him off the stream.
He'll still win. I mean,
Well, he's
All right.
already, yeah.
Each of these questions is worth 3 points. Hang on. Let me make sure what the questions are before I put them to y'all.
Make sure ChatGPT got it right.
These are not ChatGPT ones, okay? These are Jake ones.
I think Jake is ChatGPT.
That would be very unfortunate for the world.
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
Okay, so with this first question, you have to get. I will not acknowledge partial answers. I will acknowledge only if you get both of the things correct. I will not even acknowledge if you got part of it correct. All right? Here we go. What is Christopher Nolan's highest grossing film and how much did it make at the box office? Alden.
Out of my ass, right? I have no idea.
You need to be
Is that a movie
within.
title?
You need to be. Okay.
Yeah, what's our margin for the number? I need to get.
The margin is 50 million.
Okay, that's
Is
actually
this
pretty
inflation
wide.
adjusted or not? Inflation?
This is what the movie's made at the box office. Alden,
Okay.
you still answer the question.
The Dark Knight. 400 million? I don't know.
Wrong.
I don't
Zane,
know what
you're
movies
next.
make even.
I'll say Inception and $500 million.
Wrong. Nick.
I will go with Interstellar and we'll go 300 million.
Wrong. Steven.
Inception, 650 million.
Wrong. Hannah.
The Dark Knight, 750 million.
All right. Wrong. All right. I'm gonna give y'all
Break it
some
up.
hints. I'm gonna give y'all some hints. Nobody got the movie right,
Oh, wow.
and everybody was far too low on the amount.
Wow.
You get 20 more seconds, and you have to cover the camera before you answer. Alden.
Okay. The Dark Knight Rises. 999 million. And 99.
I gotta give it to you. I'm sorry. I gotta give it to you.
No.
Dark Knight Rises 1.08 billion.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's
You were-
obscene.
You were within 90 million. I mean, I
Dark
had
Knight
to.
Rises is really throwing
Well,
people off today.
It's because The Dark Knight was such a huge success
That everyone
everybody was
thought the next
super
one would be
anticipating Dark Knight Rises.
And it sucked? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, it was at least filmed in Pittsburgh.
It was better
Yeah.
than almost every single Marvel movie.
I mean, Heinz Ward was in it, so like it's pretty good, you know.
All right. Next question. With the release of Oppenheimer, how many feature films has Christopher Nolan directed? Hannah.
12.
Boom.
Dang.
Oh my gosh. I
Dang.
guessed completely. I
Really?
even named one more after the last question. Yeah.
I'm gonna take you to the casino. What the hell?
Wow.
All right. Final question, y'all. If
Ooh.
Hannah
I'm in
gets
it.
this, she wins. If Zane
Yeah.
gets it, he wins.
For the guess.
She's-
Or
Stole
if
my
anybody
chance.
else gets it, Zane wins. All right, here
Man.
we go. So this is you have to
A
give me
9-part question.
you have to give me 3 of the 4, okay? Because there are 4 technically total. I will give partial credit, but you also have to answer the question within 5 seconds of me calling on you, okay? Because you can't just sit there and think. All right, so here we go. Name the 4 actors who have appeared in the most Christopher Nolan films. Steven.
Christian Bale, Robert Downey Jr., Heath Ledger, and Leo DiCaprio.
All right, you got 1. Christian Bale is off the table. Hang on, let me go ahead and put that down. Who is next? I couldn't tell. I thought it was Alden.
I
That
think
might be
it was
wrong.
Alden.
All right, Alden, go.
Tom Hardy. What's his name that looks like Heath Ledger but isn't Heath Ledger?
That is not an answer.
Yeah, right,
Got it.
exactly.
Nailed it.
Yeah, got him. And Juno, go.
Wrong on all three.
I can't think of names right now.
Does anybody else raise their hand?
It's the woman. I have no idea what her
Hannah.
name is.
Christian Bale, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Is he in
can't
any?
even- Heath Ledger and no, that was wrong before. Jack
Wait a minute.
Black.
Oh my god. No. Wait.
Alden, you can't answer yet.
No.
I don't know.
Zane and Nick have to answer.
But I'm doing both hands.
I've got nothing.
All right,
Come
Come
Nick,
on, Zane, I set you up, dude.
do you have anything?
Can I go again?
I can't think of who's been.
All right,
multiple.
Alden, go.
Michael Caine.
Okay.
It's got to be one. If he's not one, I'm burning down my new house.
Give me
And
two more.
I don't know the woman's name, but she's in everything. But she's.
Oh, is it girls too?
It's. I think girls count,
Actors
yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know the woman's name.
All right. Well, you got Michael Caine. Right?
Wait.
Yeah, Caine.
Okay.
Hannah, go.
Kane. I'm just gonna get him by you guys getting him. Kane. Mike. What?
Oh, we have to
what
say
was
them
the one
all?
you said? No, 3 of the 4.
Hannah, you.
Christian Bale,
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman, and Jack Black.
No. Alden, go.
Anne Hathaway.
No.
Dang it. That's not who I'm trying to think of. I know
There
she's
are
in a
two
few.
more.
But...
Y'all have done Christian Bale and Michael Caine. There are
And
two
Tom
more.
Hardy, right? Is Tom Hardy not one of them?
No, Tom Hardy's not one of them.
That's upsetting.
Natalie Portman.
So Michael Caine was in 8 of them.
Wow.
The second place one was in 6 of them. The third place was tied between Christian Bale and another actor. Somebody.
He said actor, so this is a dude again.
And they're all guys.
Idris Elba.
Idris
Okay, they're
Elba's
all
not
guys.
been in a single one. Just start spitting them out. No more covering the camera. Y'all got 10
Robert
seconds.
Pattinson.
No.
Robert Downey Jr. Did somebody say
No.
that?
I said that.
Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg.
No.
McConaughey.
No.
What's the 500 Days of Summer guy? Robin.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Thank you.
No.
Yeah.
Who was the other Inception dude that wasn't DiCaprio?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Tom Hardy and
The Japanese guy.
and
No,
the
no,
Japanese
no. I'm
guy.
talking about the dude with the slick back hair.
Oh, Keanu
no.
Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. Yeah.
I don't
John
know
Wick.
these movies.
I gotta say, this is extremely
Christopher Nolan-
disappointing.
no, Christopher
Guy
Nolan, what am I
Pearce.
saying? Who's
Yeah,
Jackie
Jackie
Chan.
Chan.
Jackie Chan. Back from the dead.
Nick's sister. No, you said old guy. Sorry.
Nick's
someone just
sister.
name Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt.
All right. No,
Brad
wrong.
Pitt.
I'm giving y'all the biggest hint ever. He is the lead in Oppenheimer.
Cillian Murphy. I said that.
All right. You got it.
Oh,
Wait, really?
Oh, I forgot I
Wait,
had
I
to
said
cover
that
the
earlier.
camera.
I
Darn
did
it.
say that earlier.
Come on, Hannah. Let's go.
Somebody must have
One more.
talked over you because I didn't.
You
Didn't hear
can
you.
roll the tape later. I did say that earlier because I was
All
roll
right.
the tape.
All right. Well, we'll do.
The tail
Okay.
of the tape.
There are technically 4, so there's 1 left. Steven, Alden, Nick, y'all can't answer anymore. This is
Okay.
This is the runoff between Zane and Hannah.
Right.
Y'all have 20 seconds to get the final one. You're not going
Oh
to
my
get it,
gosh.
but you have 20 seconds.
You're not gonna get it.
Channing Tatum.
No. Zane, if you're researching things right now, I'll slap your face.
Tom Cruise.
Pencils down, Zane.
Okay,
Who's
let me
another
think of a hint. He's British.
Idris Elba.
No, stop saying Idris Elba. I know he's beautiful, but like you can't keep saying.
I'm
him
just
over and
watching
over
that
again.
show with him in it right now.
Oh, Luther. It's a good show.
No, Hijack.
Oh, I don't know that one.
British.
He's a little older. He's like Michael Caine's era.
So Michael Caine, yeah.
Pierce Brosnan.
No,
What character?
but
What name?
that
like,
era,
what,
sure.
what character did he play in a movie?
He's been in
George
he's
Clooney.
been in
George
4
Clooney.
of them. He played. No, there's no George Clooney in any of Nolan's films.
Oh, wait a
These
minute. Wait a
movies,
minute.
I'm just guessing.
Alden, you can't answer. Shut your mouth.
Oh.
He played a cop in Dark Knight, Batman Begins, and Dark Knight Rises.
I've never seen them, so.
I'm sad that I can't.
All right, give the Swifties a Swiftie tiebreaker.
No, y'all are gonna end on a tie. It's
It's
Gary
Oldman. Yeah.
I never would have gotten that in a million years.
Fair enough.
I love that you were like, he's kind of an old man.
All right, Zane and Hannah both get a point. Hannah, you are our first guest to ever get a point.
Half a point.
In trivia. No,
To be
it's
fair,
a
there
point.
was a round tailored to me, although I only got 2 of them, so.
Tailored to
I
you?
like the pun. Yeah, I caught that. Yeah.
That was for you, Steven.
All right, y'all. Well, that was fantastic. That was one of our best trivia rounds yet. Let's go
Zane, I'm
back
glad to be sharing the title with a fellow Swiftie.
Boom.
No comments.
No comment.
Just shake it off, Zane. Just shake it off.
That's so good.
Almost spit my ying.
No,
on it.
I had to go to the MARTA station by my apartment at like 2:00 in the morning. One of the nights that the concert was happening, to go pick my sisters up from the station, then walk them back into my apartment's garage.
Yikes.
So
Actually, shout out to Taylor if he's watching, because he picked me up
Poor Alden.
from the concert and took me back.
No one should ever feel sorry for Alden. I'm just going to say that right now.
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen.
Alden did well. Alden got 5 points.
Yeah.
I did
Right.
all right. I've never
Yeah.
seen Taylor Swift, but I was really upset when my Tool tickets were canceled in 2020, so wasn't happy.
You're what?
Oh, with
Tool, I
Ticketmaster.
had a Tool concert was canceled. You know,
Was
whatever.
it Ticketmaster's fault?
It probably was.
Is it because you were a tool?
That was the whole reason. That was why they canceled. Yeah.
Well, Keenan was he was scared by the COVID.
Yeah.
I think he
got it. He apparently, and he wasn't happy about
Well, that's
it.
what
I don't know.
didn't Pucifer, one of his little side project bands. They did a
Pucifer, man. Yeah.
yeah, they did a concert and put out a DVD, but there's nobody in the audience.
That
It
sounds
was-
like
it
something
was-
he would do. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like this whole like auditorium made out of rocks or something, and in the desert in Arizona.
Just
They had the
cardboard
lights,
cutouts
they
of
had the
people.
full audio. It was 4K. They put it out, and it was like $40, and you could like live stream it.
Yeah.
And he said they
then-
made more from that than they do from actual concerts.
Probably.
And he actually had more fun because he wasn't breathing cigarette smoke and having beer cans thrown at him the whole time.
Yeah. Probably.
You know what's annoying? If I sit right in the middle, I have these stupid lines down my face.
You were supposed to be kind of the Two-Face thing for the trivia, but
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
so annoying. Like, that's so stupid. Screw the sun. The
You
sun
are
is
annoying.
useless.
the
Sun
sun
sucks.
All right, let's get on to our next story. We're going to watch a decently long video here because I find it hilarious. We're going to add this to the stream. Did anybody ever watch? Has anybody seen this? It's Katie Porter, Democratic Congresswoman, hosting a game of JeoparDOD in the chamber. This is
What?
hilarious. Watch
No.
After year, the president requests a massive defense budget. Lawmakers don't want to be seen as soft on national security, and defense lobbyists exploit that. Congress then falls into line and passes an expensive defense package. And then we do the same thing again the next year. That's the game that lawmakers and lobbyists play with our tax dollars. Today, we are going to play a new game. Welcome to JeoparDOD, where our witnesses will uncover waste, missing guardrails, and the enablers who make our defense budget balloon. Witnesses, you'll pick a category and a point amount. I'll read you a prompt, and just like in regular Jeopardy, you'll give the answer in the form of the question. For example, if I read the Congresswoman hosting JeoparDOD, you will say, who is Katie Porter? Let's get started, Mr. Tenaglia. Enablers for 100. A president who called how much we spend on defense crazy, but let defense spending grow by over 100 billion in one term.
Obama.
I don't know the answer to that question.
Really? You don't know who called the defense budget crazy?
Not Obama.
Who
Yeah,
is
I figured.
Donald Trump.
That's
Mr.
right.
Mansfield.
It grew by more than that under Obama.
Enablers for 200.
Enablers for 200.
The clue is more just
A
like the
member of
language,
Senate
but-
leadership who recently said funding the Pentagon
Are these
at
all going to be Donald Trump, like the
$886
whole thing?
No.
billion dollars
Okay.
would
Not at all.
mean defense is radically underfunded.
I don't know the answer.
Who is Mitch McConnell?
The
Mr.
murder
Khan,
turtle.
you can easily be the winner here.
I'll take waste for 300.
Great choice. Waste for 300.
I love
Ineffective
so
DoD assets that
play
cost
along.
about $600 million to build and are now being decommissioned before the end of their useful life.
Wow.
I'm drawing a blank there.
Those the littoral combat
What
ship.
are littoral combat
you're
ships?
right,
You're
yeah.
familiar with this program. Mr. Tenaglia,
Enablers for 300.
pardon me,
Enablers for 300.
enablers for 300.
By the way, littoral means water.
Get rich while
On the water.
pushing to
Littoral?
overspend our tax dollars.
I did not know that.
Who are defense lobbyists? Mr. Mansfield.
For 200.
Waste for 200. I'm really counting on you here, Mr. Mansfield. A
Colin, Rand
program
Paul,
that is
for God's sake.
$183 billion over budget and 10 years behind schedule.
F-35.
What is the Joint Strike Fighter program?
Yep.
What is the what?
Is it the Joint Strike Fighter program?
What? That's correct. What is the F-35
Nice.
program? Correct. Mr. Khan.
Missing guardrails for 200.
Missing guardrails for 200. The institution that has authorized more defense spending than the president requested for the current fiscal year. Who has authorized more defense spending than the president requested for this
The
current
House.
2023 fiscal year?
The House of
I'll take
Representatives.
The Armed Services Committee.
We'll give you that. Who is Congress? Mr. Tenaglia,
Say it
I'd
first.
really love to see you get one right here. I'm
Nice.
rooting for you.
Missing guardrails for 100.
Missing
I'd love to
guardrails
see
for
it.
100. This one I think you're going to know. A review that every agency has passed except the DoD.
Audit.
What is an audit?
What is an audit? Correct. Mr. Mansfield,
With missing guardrails for 300.
missing guardrails for 300. This is a really good one. The percentage of DoD's assets that it cannot account for.
Oh no.
100%.
45.
61%. So
What
it,
is 61%?
huh?
What is 61%?
What is 61%? So I read the question wrong. The percentage of DoD assets that it can account for is 39%. You're right. Cannot
He's
account
right.
for
Yeah.
61%.
Right.
Can account
Wow.
for 39. All right, Mr. Khan.
Is that double jeopardy? I'll take
Yes.
100.
This is it. Waste for 100. DoD assets that have been lost, damaged, or destroyed to the tune of millions of dollars based on a May GAO report. What are spare aircraft parts? We're down for JeoparDOD, and the winner here today should be the American people. Because no matter who uncovers the most waste, the important thing is that we provide long overdue oversight to the taxpayers.
All right.
It's hilarious.
Good.
So,
And then she raises $100,000 at a DoD gala.
Yeah.
Right,
From a,
most definitely.
although for a Democrat from California, that's a
It's
Yeah,
not bad.
it's not
Like,
bad.
that was top officials for those just listening. It was top officials from the Pentagon were the ones answering the questions, and it was freaking hilarious that they, no question, like they just immediately started playing along. Like
They
didn't
really
even
did, yeah,
question
that-
it for a moment.
That was my favorite part, man. That they just jumped right in and they were like competitively actually playing. It was awesome.
We
And
needed
some
a
of them
Jake
they
Green
really
scoreboard.
They needed. I love how her aide
Yeah.
was passed her the board, but then didn't just hold it for her, and she had to sit there and hold it with one hand. Like that was. I mean, it was a little clunky, but overall,
it's a good system.
Effective.
That was gangster. That was gangster.
I thought it was cool.
I liked it.
Yeah. If I didn't know she was from California, I would have thought she was from Oklahoma. I bet she makes a mean casserole.
Casserole. Or excuse me, 39% was all that was able to be accounted for. That's ridiculous.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta change.
Well, especially since the Rumsfeld era, when he lost $1 trillion in the couch cushions.
Yeah, right before 9/11.
To be fair, that whole wing blew up a couple days after. So.
Yeah. To be fair. Yeah.
That was around the time they were coming out with the $1 trillion coin. So maybe just that one coin fell out of their pocket.
It's easy to lose $1 trillion when it's one coin. Yeah.
All the Mugabe bucks. Yeah.
Anyway, I found it super interesting that a bunch of Pentagon officials only knew like 30% of the answers to those questions,
or said that they knew. Yeah, right. Yeah.
And that
exactly.
And that the one that like really stood out to me that they knew was that 61% of what they have of their assets are unaccounted for.
Yeah.
How do you know that number and you're not fixing it? Like that is
he was aware of it to the 1%. Like
And you know how Donald Trump got the defense budget boosted $100 billion in one term though, right? Because he did the largest arms deal in human history. His first month in office. Remember when he went over to Saudi Arabia and he was over there holding the Palantir doing that ceremony with all those freaks?
Yeah.
And he $700 billion worth of American arms were bought that day.
The Crown Prince Bonesaw?
Yes. They ground up a journalist to celebrate the deal.
Was that when he came back talking about how good it would be for the economy because of the deal he made? Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Who is the I know you're being facetious, but who was the journalist that was it Khashoggi? Was that
it was Khashoggi. Yeah.
Khashoggi.
Have y'all seen that documentary? I think it's on Netflix.
No.
I don't know if I've seen it, but
it's incredible.
Maybe I did.
And it will infuriate you to an endless degree.
I assume that's what you meant by incredible.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they did a great job documenting exactly what happened and going back and doing the research and really going to
He went into an embassy to get a marriage license.
Yeah.
And then he came out in bags.
Yep.
So the moral of the story is don't get married.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not in Saudi Arabia, no.
Or that's fair.
Yeah.
But so the story that we just watched is from, I'm going to shout them out every single time we use them. Real News, No Bullshit. I follow them on Instagram. They're amazing. Real News, No Bullshit, all one word. They do fantastic stuff. They went over to Ukraine and Russia and interviewed a ton of Russian civilians and soldiers and a ton of Ukrainian civilians and soldiers just to give like an actual real life human perspective on what's happening over there. They try not to put a spin on anything. They're very, very good. I would highly recommend everybody subscribe to their channels and all that because they're pretty much funded by little donors. I'll
check them out for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
I'll give them tree fitting.
Nice.
All right. Well, let's keep on going with the military industrial complex. This blew my mind. I'm going to refresh it because I think it already started playing.
Typo has redirected millions of US military emails to a web operator in the West African nation of Mali. US military emails end with .mil, whereas the Malian domain is .ml, resulting in all sorts of things like diplomatic notes, travel details, passwords, and medical data being misdirected. One recent misdirected email included the full travel details of the US Army's Chief of Staff on a visit to Indonesia, including hotel addresses and room numbers, itineraries, and more. The issue was noticed a decade ago by a Dutchman contracted to manage Mali's web domain. He's collected over 100,000 misdirected emails and has been urging the US to take action for years. According to the Financial Times, his contract expires this month, meaning control will revert back to the Malian government, which has fallen out with the West while developing stronger ties with Russia. The Pentagon said it is aware of this issue and takes all unauthorized disclosures of national security information seriously. The one left.
First, let me start with, hey, Dutch guy who's managing the emails. If there's anything juicy, send it our way. Please.
Yeah. Podcast at lpgeorgia.com. Give us those emails.
Give us that data. Yeah. If you got
That's
Hillary Clinton's also just
.com, not cum. That's a different website. So.
Although I will still get those.
Yeah.
We'll take those emails.
Steven's the admin. Yeah.
I mean, how absurd is that? That because one letter is missing, we've sent hundreds of thousands of emails to Mali, to an African nation where a Dutch guy is in charge of their
and he's like trying to be like nice
to be
about
fair.
it. Like, I'm
This
getting
is
your
this is the
mail.
military that spent 20 years trying to conquer a bunch of goat herders and failed. So
yeah.
But CBS got in that cave for that interview though.
They
Somehow.
did.
I'm just
They
saying.
did. I mean, it's also hilarious that the Pentagon is aware of the situation. All they got to do is fix it. How difficult is that? Like, just fix it. It's one letter.
They're aware though. Yeah.
Well, that's part of the 61% of their budget they can't account for.
Yeah.
I
was
there
going to
has to be
mention
some kind of block they could do, like don't send .ml. There has to be something. Like
That
there's
what if Dutch programmer was actually one of those assets?
yeah, ban all the military domains from sending to .ml. I mean, that
would not be hard.
Very simple.
I didn't know the name of the Viking 1, the Mars rover that did land, but I knew the story of the one that didn't land, that crashed. And the reason why that crashed is because there was a mix-up between basically metric and the U.S. centigrade or whatever. And so they didn't convert the numbers, and it came in at too steep a trajectory, and just like $2 billion just like exploded into Mars. But
So now we need a space war so we can have imperial measurements up there.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Again, right?
Exactly.
There's two kinds of countries, right? Ones that use the metric system and ones that have supposedly put a man on the moon.
There you go. There you go.
I think Stephen and I have talked about this with the U.S. centigrade is actually closer to the units that like the ancient Egyptians used to use, which is kind of cool. But
yes.
Okay. Well, let's not go into that nerdy crap.
And just surveyor nerd,
Right.
like
That's ridiculous.
Well, the centimeter was redefined in 1952.
Oh, good God. Stephen, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Oh, man.
It used to be from my cuticle to my knuckle, but now it's from my cuticle to the tip of my nail. That's the centimeter now.
Well, they try to define by like constants, right? So isn't it like a fraction of the speed of light or?
Yes. So prior to that, it was a fixed solid that was just held in a glass jar, and now it's how far a beam of light travels over a fraction of a second. Yeah.
I hate everything about this
Or
conversation.
like time is kept based off of the decay of a uranium atom or something.
Yeah. Ipso facto Viking rover. Yeah.
There you go. I mean, okay. So,
Stephen, what's your opinion of them getting rid of Big K?
What?
Like Big K Cola, like the soda,
or like Special K, like the drug.
Apparently, I made a reference that was too arcane even for this group. So forget I said it.
Gosh, I really wish I had a setup for 6 feds because that's really annoying. I can't do that right now. I mean, just let's put this in perspective. It's in 2013, Mali was getting our military emails. 2013. Alden, that's when you and I graduated.
I was just gonna say that was.
It's been 10 years, and they've been getting our emails the entire time.
I was just thinking about this
It's a
because
government
my
program.
computer's that old.
Your oh my gosh, Alden, get a new computer.
So we don't need to free Assange. We just need to call the Malian embassy, right?
I mean, they have all the information. How
Dutch
how
guy
much
has it
awesome
all.
information could we get from that Dutch guy? Can we figure out who that guy is? Is that a
It's
possibility?
tells
He likes
you.
gold.
I'm sure if you look, it'll tell you in some news article who the service is, and then we just got to email him from the LP Georgia account and be like, "Hey, you mind like data dumping this to us? Like we're Americans, we'll take good care of it."
We'll take great care of it. We'll
Yeah,
put
just
put
post
it
it
right
out
out
on the web.
for everyone to read. It'll be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll forward this to the DOD. Sure thing.
To all. Yeah.
All right. Well, next up, we've got our favorite Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, dined on psychedelic mushrooms.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah.
Which led to, wait, dadgummit, did I flip these? I think I flipped these. Here we go. There we go. U.S. Treasury commits embarrassing bow. Please watch this horrendous display. Here we go. What? she's like a bobblehead.
3. She's like the barometer bird that like dips into the water.
The tricky bird, yeah.
And they're saying that it's because she ate 4 bowls of psychedelic mushrooms.
Okay, actually, I would embarrass myself far worse, honestly, if I had that much. I'm just saying, like that's actually pretty good.
She's got to be doing psychedelic mushrooms on the reg because I mean, look at her economic policies.
Yeah, actually, it makes sense. Yeah.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think it's the opposite. I don't know. Like Shane Hazel, who is a huge advocate for mushrooms, he got grounded. He got like clearer and
yeah, but he's not retarded.
More. Well, okay, that might be the defining factor there. You could have me. Okay. But yeah, she gobbled. I love that it says gobbled.
Does it literally say gobbled?
Gobbled 4 portions of whatever that is, a type of wild mushroom.
I mean, it can't have been the first time. You don't do it for the first time before you meet the Chinese guy, right?
No,
My question is, was she aware that she did that?
Well, see, so I think it's some kind of like Chinese street food or something like that, where it's one of those things that's just kind of like unspoken. Like that's why that guy gets all these repeat clients,
right?
And because the cook or something like that, in one of these interviews, he even said, you never really know what hits you. Like one second you're standing, and the next second you're falling over.
Did someone go to remove her from this? Is that like
yeah?
Like how many?
Well, and who's to say it wasn't on purpose? Because the only people the Chinese hate worse than us is the Japanese. And you can just look up the rape of Nanking if you don't believe me on that one.
No, I understand.
I mean, it's so funny. It's just
Can't stop picturing the duck. That is what it looks like. The little
It's the little. It gets a little lower like each time, like, and then it goes like, ooh, yeah.
That's hilarious.
I forget what she says here. Let's see what she says. There's only 30 seconds.
Last week's visit served as a step forward in putting our relationship on a surer footing.
Can you put it on 2x speed?
And productive channel of communication.
She drives me crazy.
There's much more work to do, but I believe this trip was an important start. I'm eager to build on the groundwork we laid in Beijing to mobilize further action.
Did she meet with Pooh Bear while she was there, or was it just level official?
I mean, she's got to be related to Fauci. They talk the exact same stupid way. Like
that's pretty funny.
They're both on Chinese psychedelic mushrooms.
I was gonna say they're both lizard people, but
they are both lizard people. Yeah, I just found that whole thing to be hilarious. Oh, dadgummit, brought us to that. Sorry, guys. I gave you all a sneak peek of what we're going to next, which will probably be in the next 30 seconds because there's only so much. There's only so much I can talk about.
All I saw was
mushrooms,
a creepy van. So I'm excited to go.
That's probably one.
So if she has PTSD from
anarchy,
all the damage she's causing from her financial policies, that kind of makes sense. If it's an accident, that's one thing, or if they did it on purpose. That is kind of an act of war.
I mean, it's definitely interesting. Like, what else? What other stupid things did she do? Because I'm pretty sure that you'd have very little control of yourself when you're on psychedelic mushrooms. So, like, what did she say while she was on this? Like, who did she meet with? What did she do during this whole period? Like,
there you go.
The amount of things
she have
that
on
could
an
have
adult diaper.
Well, I'm sure it'll come out whenever the Chinese, need to use some of that political capital. They'll be like, "Hey, we're going to release this dirt if you."
Yeah, I mean that's something that we'll never know though. Like they'll just send a clip of whatever she did to somebody in charge, and they'll negotiate for something that we don't want to give the Chinese, but the government will because they have to, otherwise they'll be embarrassed. Like, how many, like, I don't know. You should not be doing mushrooms when you're in a foreign nation as a freaking government representative.
Is this I feel like if I were, I would not, right? And is this another thing like the cop car thing where it's like, is this on the clock? Like, was this, a paid trip kind of a thing, like a taxpayer paid thing?
Of course it was. If
whole time, like, it's like,
if you're over there representing the United States government, the United States Treasury Secretary, you're over there for business and nothing else. You should not be doing anything personal while you're there because you're spending our money.
Well, to be fair, she thought minting $1 trillion coin would be reasonable. So
yeah, well, and you're giving them this huge PR campaign. Look, the great Satan is high. Let's capitalize on it.
Yeah,
I for one wish more of my tax dollars were spent on magic mushrooms.
In this way, yeah, I agree.
Oh, Grumpy, sorry you have to go so soon. Good night, Grumpy.
Bye, man.
Good night.
Actually, I'm not used to it being night when we're doing it. Yeah, this is interesting.
Oh yeah, Alden, this is a new situation for you.
Yeah, normally right now I'm like it's like 6:30, kind of, like, and I'm like, oh, I got to make dinner,
Yeah, but
it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, you already ate now.
Yeah, now it's like you have to drink and relax and head to bed afterwards.
Yeah, I've been going to bed like I'm seriously like 70 years old now. Like I've been going to bed like before midnight, which for me is crazy.
That is crazy. You used to stay up to like 4.
In my bartending days, I would stay up till like the sun came up, like 7. Like
vomit. All right, let's go to the creepy van.
Creepy van.
Here we
Did you build this one, Jake?
Jake's house.
Sadly, I didn't build this one.
Vanarchy for all your van needs.
It looks very well done.
And Tesla are the only 2 American cars to never go bankrupt. The reason Ford never went bankrupt is because the last recession that happened, they took a huge loan before, about 8 months to a year before. They took a huge loan and they used that loan to survive the all the other car companies never took that loan. When we hit the recession, they all filed for bankruptcy. If Ford right now is taking a $9.2 billion loan, they know that we're about to hit some bad times. So they're pulling money while they can. You'll see the rest of the companies now will go through a fall and will fall into bankruptcy. And everybody's like, oh, look, Ford survives. No, because they took money while they know good. Something that everybody doesn't know. Something that nobody and then that's.
Did they just take money again?
They just took $9.2 billion.
That's a recent number? Oh, man.
Those
and they're not forced union.
Go back. Those comments were great. The first
that's what I was laughing at.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Let's see.
Point of view: finance bro kidnaps you and ties you up in the back of his van. You could be 1,000% right, but I'm not listening. You start swinging your legs like a
Oh man,
those are some good comments. Good.
Yeah,
comments.
He needs a lower seat for sure.
Yes.
To be fair, though, completely legit. Ford did do this. I had an article pulled up, but I think I lost it. I don't know where it went, but it does not. I mean, we all knew this was coming, but like, if that isn't a big enough sign for the everyday person to understand what's going to happen, then they're just all going to get screwed. Like,
although isn't Ford kind of the suckers because they took the loan and GM got bailed out?
I mean, maybe. I mean, I feel like I feel like being able to claim that you've never gone bankrupt is probably a pretty good bragging rights thing, and it makes your brand way more trusted.
The brand thing, yeah.
Yeah, like I would trust Ford way more than GM. I'll never buy like a GM.
I think I agree these days, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because Obama turned the bankruptcy laws on its head. The way he handled the GM bankruptcy, he satisfied the unsecured creditors before the secured creditors.
Okay.
And that was totally not how bankruptcies are handled. If you have secured debt, which means like, I'm going to give you the title to my property in exchange for this loan, like a home equity loan or something like that. So people had secured debt with GM, like you either pay me this or I own your property now, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They got paid last in the settlement deal with the GM bankruptcy. It was people that had like, intellectual property or, had like labor cost, something like that. They got paid first. And yeah, it was really weird. And then Ford also does not force unions. They are not a forced union shop. So
what does that mean? Forced unions.
So all the other automakers, you have to be in the UAW.
All of them? Seriously?
Pretty much.
All the US ones?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. So like all the GM employees are UAW. And Ford doesn't do that. UAW still works in Ford shops, but they don't force it.
I like that. It's like being in Georgia, right to work.
That's right. That's right. Now you have to have special tools to change your own freaking brake pads.
You have to have that with Mercedes stuff too. Like we got that Sprinter van. That's freaking annoying as crap.
If I get a van, I'm probably going to go with like a Transit or something because it's just easier to work on. Yeah.
I'm not sure Transit makes diesel though. That was
they don't in the US, I don't think, which is upsetting. But they do everywhere else, of course.
So you're going to have to import.
Yep. Yeah. You just have to learn to drive on the other side, depending on where it comes from. But
I think you can custom order those to be on the whichever side you want.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah.
To the correct side.
To the correct side, yeah.
Yeah.
The side that most people drive on.
I was just thinking about this in terms of like
in Germany they drive on the right side.
It's everywhere
it depends
except like the Limeys and Limey adjacent countries.
Limey adjacent.
How challenging would it be if bordering countries like were different? Because then what do you do at the border? You just switch over to the other side.
You gotta do a cross like the diverging diamond.
Yeah. So what do you do if you drive north from New York into Canada?
Well, Canada is on the same side, right?
Right.
Yeah, but you just don't want to be there. That's the issue.
Okay.
You're on the wrong side, but they drive.
Canada drives on the
right. All right. Well, this story is from Nick. Silicon Valley has been subsidizing millennials' lifestyles for most of our adult lives. We'll still end up poorer.
Time for an economics lesson, because this was an interesting little read that I picked up at work today.
There you go.
Okay, so there's a reason why the 2010s felt like a great time for young people who wanted their lives phone-oriented and cheap. We said goodbye to the stale and expensive world of booking hotels, hailing cabs, and only ordering food from restaurants that offer delivery. Instead, we stuffed our home screens full of colorful apps that promised to fix these inefficient systems. It was so convenient that many of us were willing to overlook the increasingly obvious truth that these apps very much relied on real underpaid humans working as contract workers rather than fully paid up employees, that they undercut independent businesses. The free market believers thought they saw competition operating as it should, but progressives perhaps were a little too willing to compromise their principles for convenience. And yet we know these companies were not making a profit. The naive assumption was that this was down to these firms reinvesting their revenue into growth, but it looks as though the dysfunctional business model was intentional. My colleague Adam Rogers reported that this whole counterintuitive system, which two law professors now argue is illegal, had a clear winner. Silicon Valley venture capitalists who get in, get a hefty return of their investment, and get out before the whole scheme collapses. In other words, a ride-hailing app can turn up, kill off traditional taxis with cheap fares in an easy-to-use app, go public for shed loads of cash, then hike up the prices once the competition is dead, a practice known as predatory pricing. There was little public outcry as this all ostensibly benefited consumers and temporarily created what the New York Times' Kevin Roos described as a millennial lifestyle subsidy. I benefited just like everyone else, but now we'll all be paying up. The price increases we've all felt in recent years across services like Airbnb, Uber, and Netflix weren't just down to inflation. They marked the final death of this subsidy. Millennials have been told our whole lives that we're the poorest generation. While things in reality may be a little more complicated than that, you took it away.
Still plagued by disadvantages. That was the rest I saw.
Like prices rising faster than salaries, which means less savings and little hope of being able to afford homes as nice as our parents. It felt like tech slightly alleviated these issues, offering convenient, affordable, small luxuries. It turns out that wasn't even real. that the end of the article?
Bet. Because I remember reading stuff in high school about graphene. Graphene was going to revolutionize. Silicon's dead. Graphene's the way of the future. I mean, I remember being a junior in high school. This is like 01, 02. Reading stuff that, we're supposed to have graphene computers within the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
That were, the computing power on the consumer level was going to increase, tenfold over the next decade.
Now it's just graphene.
Where's all the graphene chips? Not being used,
Hey,
So-
Ian on Timcast still thinks graphene is the future, and he talks about it constantly. And there's a graphene phone now. I know that.
So there was a Radeon video card back in my day, but there was a Radeon video card that 2 generations after that, I think it was like the 3010 and 3070. I don't know what it was, but it was, it was back when it was 128 meg, basically. It wasn't even a gigabyte video card yet.
Mm.
So you could take a 128 meg video card and make it perform like a 512. All you had to do was take a lead pencil and color the nodes and then plug it in your motherboard.
What?
And for the next 2 weeks, you would overclock your video card just by doing that.
Jeez.
Because it didn't have any kind of, it didn't have a cap on how much electricity it could take in. So if you made it more conducive, it would give you more video resolution. And then you could play more EverQuest. And
Hannah, is that what you used to do with your video cards? Is scrape
I'm
lead
very
on them?
lost.
Is there
Sounds
graphene in pencils? I thought it was just graphite.
Well, that's graphite. I'm not, that wasn't like the whole graphene or
Graphene's like a single atom layer of graphite.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, the nano graphite. Gotcha. Yeah, I think graphene is probably the technology that's being developed sort of like behind the scenes that like the public doesn't get yet kind of thing. But
yes, 100%.
Well, that and the DNA-based computing, you hear about that kind of stuff. I don't really know how that works.
I don't know how DNA computing works, but
how would that work? I don't understand how that's
DNA
even a possibility.
You got to hook up a needle. I'm not really sure, but there's
DNA is like code, so it makes sense in a way.
Right. DNA is what, 4 base pairs. Most computers are in binary. So if you can bind strands of, I have no idea on this, but I'm guessing, you bind those strands and having 4 options instead of 2.
You can also transmit
AG,
DNA.
What is it? AC, T, and G? Is that
ATC? Yeah, adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine.
Yeah,
I don't know, but ATCG, and then you can send it. You can send it with a laser, the same that you can like binary.
That's
and you
holographic epistemology.
What?
Yeah.
No, we can't. I'm not talking about that anymore. They can go away.
I was going to ask what the connection to the article where it.
I hate y'all right now. You've just entered into so many topics that I cannot talk about.
Last item. You can send it into water from a laser. So you can, and honestly, as far as you want. So if there's water on the moon, you can send it to the moon, whatever. And then you can actually find traces of the DNA in the water. It's wild. Read about that. It's ridiculous, but yeah.
I will promise you that I will never go read about that.
Yeah, ever. I was talking to Steven, okay?
All right, I'll steer us back on track.
Laser to the water. That's all.
DNA
I
via a laser. Yeah.
Is the article? Was it basically saying that we got all just to steer us back? We got all these new convenient apps and services that kind of undercut taxis or whatever for Uber, and then once they got rid of taxis or priced them out, that they raised the prices.
Then there's no competition.
Yeah, it said that that they relied on underpricing. It's the whole. It goes back to the same
predatory.
Way. Yeah, quote unquote predatory pricing, which is the same argument used for monopolies, right? Oh, we have to have these antitrust laws because monopolies will just cut prices down, hold their prices low, and then once they either buy up or run all their competitors out of business, they're going to jack those prices up super high.
But now we just have oligopoly when we just shake hands on it and shoot.
That's the thing. If you've never had a
work, it's never actually worked in practice. Like
because Rockefeller,
Oh, I think we were going to say the same exact thing in the early 20th century. Rockefeller Standard Oil tried this exact thing with the gas stations. They would open a gas station with really cheap gas to drive the competitors out of business. And then once they were out of business, they would raise their gas prices up. But guess what happened? Somebody would just open a new gas station, and Standard Oil never made any money doing this. They lost a bunch of money and had to stop. So
at the level,
the issue is where it comes. The issue where the monopoly comes in is where the compliance and the regulatory costs become so high that the competitor can't get into the market without a ton of capital behind it, and so the marginal price increases.
It's being able to write the laws and determine like the barrier for entry for people to actually get into whatever business that you're in.
Right. The cab thing. I mean, in New York, didn't they used to have to purchase that, whatever it was?
A medallion.
A medallion. Was it like 25 grand or something outrageous?
Right. It's crazy. And then you have all these
More
people
than that.
To get
Those were
started.
like going to like $1 million as we're selling for at the end there before it collapsed. Like it was people were staking their retirements on it. And when Uber came in and priced and collapsed the taxi system there, I mean, people killed themselves over it.
Oh yeah, well that's
everything they had of value. They staked their entire life savings, their entire working career on the fact that I have this medallion and I'm gonna sell it when I'm ready to retire and I'm gonna be just fine. And and they expected, well, this is a government protected monopoly. I'm gonna be fine. And they got.
Do you guys know about?
Said every Mindspring employee in the late '90s. And see how that worked out.
Do you guys know about the whole light bulb thing when that started? The different companies, at first they tried to make the best light bulb they could make, but they made too good of a light bulb, and then the companies got together and
because like what the one of the original light bulbs has been going for over 100 years.
In the firehouse, right? In the
the firehouse light bulb.
The fire station.
I live in my late mother's house, and I can attest. There is a light bulb I installed 27 years ago when I was 10 years old that still works. All the Obama bulbs and all these new age LED.
It's incandescent, right?
They burn out in two. I call the twisty ones the Obama bulbs. I know really George Bush is more a part of that, but I call them the Obama bulbs. And really those twisty ones, those CFLs, if those break, you're supposed to call in a hazmat team.
Dude, toxic amounts of mercury, phosphorus, sulfur. It's crazy. Yeah.
So I've been purging those and putting in these new LEDs. You get the Philips LEDs that are $7 a bulb, and they blow out 2 years later. Screw those things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, now they're trying to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Andrew.
It's the economy of convenience. So you have what may be the Black Pope, could usher in the Antichrist. I don't know. Pope Francis, in his first encyclical he published after he was appointed Pope, Laudato Si. I know I mispronounced that, but he talked about the disposal culture. The artificial culture that we have.
Right.
That you sift through all the communism and that crap, and what really condenses down that really harkens true is that we do have this throwaway nature that, like your modern day TV you get from Walmart, which is like the most advanced thing your father has ever seen. Right.
And who does that benefit though?
And it's $400. And then say the bulb goes out and you call it
now the whole TV,
a local tech that can fix it. He'll come out. Yeah, I'll replace those LED strips. It'll be $700. Or you can throw the thing in the garbage and get a brand new TV, the same kind, for $450.
Yeah.
So it's that whole thing. We have this artificial economy that may or may not have been created by China.
And also to do.
I missed the way he says it.
The government link that like Jake was talking about. When you have a government entity like the EPA saying that a certain light bulb is more efficient or better for the environment, then you shift the entire industry, and then they lie about how long they last. So now they don't last as long. So they're more efficient while they run, but they don't last as long. And then there's toxic amounts of chemicals in them, So this is part of the government link. Or government no bid contracts for things like the Summer of Love, where they put in the like telecom lines in the different country. And the companies all like, basically did the fucking circle jerk, shake hands kind of thing of like, you take that section and I'll take this, because they wanted to set up their own oligopoly kind of thing with the telecom, like the internet and everything. And the government was like, hey, no bid. They just gave it out. Anyway, so the government is a huge problem in basically how this is able to be so bad. But
there you go.
Yeah, so obviously regulatory capture and cartelization, can only be enforced in the presence of a government, and that has a lot of impacts on companies being able to sell us bad quality products. But I guess to push back a little bit, because libertarians, we are the most disagreeable people.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. I'm a walking paradox.
Extent,
no, I'm not.
To the extent that, cartelization might not be the only thing driving kind of this throwaway culture, I think we have to realize that in a lot of cases, people keep buying it because that's what they want. If they really wanted products that could be easily repaired, some business, if the government wasn't standing in the way, which sometimes they are, but sometimes they're not. If people really wanted that, then some company would provide it. And the fact that nobody's providing it is good evidence that it either is wasteful to try to build stuff that can be repaired cheaper than it can be replaced, or just that people don't feel like replacing it and rather buy something else.
That's fair.
It's the incentives of a fiat monetary system, especially one seeing probably its end days here, right? Circling the train. I mean, you have a low time preference, trying to a high incentivization to spend because your money is constantly losing value. So why? Yeah, exactly. So why save up for the $1,200 TV that's going to last you 20 years when you can just buy the cheap one for $400 that's going to last you 4 years, right? Because by the time you save that money up, you're losing at least 2% per year, closer to 10%, these past couple of years, just with the insane 8 and 4 and whatever they're.
I learned my lesson with like Amazon junk pretty fast, where it's like, oh, save $3, but then you got to replace it in 3 weeks. And I think some people take a lot longer.
Value, right? You got to look for value in things, and there are places you find value at reasonable prices. But that brings down to the and there is a little bit of a point here. I don't agree with it, but this part here, my colleague Adam Rogers reported this whole counterintuitive system, which 2 law professors now argue is illegal, had a clear winner: Silicon Valley venture capitalists who get a hefty return on their investment and get out before the whole scheme collapses. In other words, a ride-hailing app can turn up, kill off traditional taxis with cheap fares, blah, 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 right? So just the whole venture capital market, right, and the way this works these days. So it's
at least in the 80s. At least in the 80s, you buy Tupperware. I'm still using Tupperware my mom bought in the 80s, bro.
That shit's good, man. Yeah.
So at least back in the day, they were selling you a bill of goods, but it still lasted. Like this stuff today is like, if it lasts 5 years, it outlasts its shelf life.
You're lucky. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to say here the incentives of this whole system, right? So generally, what these venture capitalists in Silicon Valley are trying to do, they're trying to buy in and they're trying to sell, grow it quick, spend it, run cash negative, and then sell it off to Google, Microsoft, Amazon, one of these zombie companies that doesn't innovate anymore and just buys up everyone else because
that's what Altel did with their cell towers, their cell tower network. Good God, their land records are horrendous. But then Verizon bought that, just gobbled it up, and their land records suck. And that's why, like, any little like downward blip in the last 10 years you see in Verizon stock is because of freaking Altel. I promise you.
But but you don't see companies, they don't go to the venture capital, really looking to get these tech companies looking to go public. Really, I mean, most of them, Instagram got bought up by Facebook. Facebook bought this up. Facebook bought that up. Microsoft bought those up. Everyone just buys it up instead of, hey, this is a good little company. Let's actually take it public and try to build it slowly,
or compete with it and make yourself better.
Right. So you see that, and then especially like if you look at the worst offender of this, A16Z, Andreessen Horowitz, and their crypto scheme. I don't know if you've ever looked at this, but their whole crypto division, what they do. They'll come in, they'll buy up, they'll take a big position in some shit coin that does nothing. They'll market the hell out of it. Yeah, they'll market the hell out of it, pump it, and then as soon as it pumps, they dump because we're talking about unregistered securities here, so they've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, but this is a bunch of dum-dums buying dumbass crypto.
I know it is.
People need to take some personal responsibility for their investments.
Hold up, Shiba Inu is the Doge killer. Okay,
I'm saying if you ever look at I watched a video at one point showing all the A16Z crypto coins that they've purchased and pumped and dumped. Every chart looks the same. Giant pump. As soon as it hits the top, they quit the marketing, they dump, and everyone gets left holding the bag, and it's just time and again and again and again. And you have to be.
I'm still hodling some AMC shares, man.
Well, that was a whole different case, but
yeah, we could talk about that a whole nother time, honestly, and what the fuckery that went on with that.
Although, it is interesting. You saw Uber used to be so cheap.
Yeah,
so cheap. Went up in price.
Or
and
Uber Airbnb,
Eats and all of that.
Airbnb
and then the local zoning departments caught wind.
Yep.
Because the I don't know, big hotel, whatever you want to call it,
big hospitality.
Yeah, I was like, bro, you got to clamp down on this, and now an Airbnb costs just as much as a hotel.
Honestly, usually
and then
more
you're paying
now,
that giant cleaning fee and everything.
Yeah,
else.
but you got the dog with you. You got that yard, so it's.
You got that jacuzzi, man. Just don't wear lotion in it, man. You can't wear lotion.
Is with the current monetary
it floats
situation.
on the water.
Well, you got the jacuzzi in the hotel. You just got to share it with the swingers.
Fair
enough.
The interesting part is I don't know if you've seen. I've seen a lot of articles lately talking about how Airbnb operators are taking big losses right now. They can't certain people were like, yeah, we used to be booked up every weekend, maxing out what we're allowed or always full.
People think Airbnb is collapsing.
And now we can't even fill out.
It's definitely going to go through. And I've actually heard of there's a local neocon radio host that when he was talking about recession fears a few months ago.
Eric Erickson.
Yes, thank you. He referred to a recession in terms of a boom or bust capitalist cycle, and he called it creative destruction. And that was pretty eye opening to me. I mean, because without government intervention. You take all that stuff out of it. Obviously, we don't agree with capital controls and a whole bunch of things the government does today. But without that, there is going to be a natural, creative, destructive cycle from which the market learns and then regrows. So that's kind of what it's talking about right now. And what we're in right now is like a bubble within a bubble within a bubble because it's the throwaway culture. Yeah,
Christopher Nolan reference here.
Pope Francis was onto something when he's talking about this throwaway culture, and it's. We're leveraging the third world so we can prop up our first world nature, and we have probably the lower half of our middle class thinks they're middle class, but they're really not because again, you get the crap from Amazon, and you gotta replace it every 2 years. Which how often did your parents replace a table lamp? Like that was their parents gave that to them, and
still have
their grandparents burned oil. So it's. I
had to render
you
the
get into that kind of thing, and it's the convenience culture, and it does have a price associated with it.
Yeah,
and people aren't realizing it until they get the $250,000 basket weaving degree, and then they get the $3,000 a month apartment, and then they realize everything they put in this apartment sucks, and this whole societal facade is fake.
Yeah, but it kind of self-perpetuates at that point because then you're already in the situation where you have debt and you have a bad job or whatever. You can't get a job. And then you have to buy the quick, convenient stuff because you can't afford to save for a lamp that will last or be $200 but last you for a generation. So it's like...
Right.
Or you have to keep...
So we are, and I say we because we're old enough to be Zane's parents, but we are the first generation to not technically do as well as our parents.
Mm-hmm.
We can't be shoe salesmen and support a family of four.
I mean,
in a Chicago suburb.
I mean, when you're incentivized to spend because your money is losing 2 or 4 or 8% a year, you then have to beyond just being, going to work and earning earning a paycheck. You then have to be a master in the stock market or dumping money into this scheme or that scheme,
Or just
to
be
try and
hot,
stay
right?
ahead of, just to try to stay ahead of 8% inflation. I mean, how does that work? I mean, even
Our only hope now, like the only hope for Zane's generation specifically, is that maybe his parents get life insurance and pay off their mortgage and deed him the property. Because I mean, quite honestly, somebody Zane's age, God bless you, not everybody can win Jeopardy, Zane.
Zane might be able to.
Standard millennial right now, coming out of high school, whatever, or Gen Z, whatever it is. Your average 19-year-old right now. I know more and more kids are doing the dual enrollment their senior year of high school, and coming out of high school and a year later with one semester of college having an associate's degree. But with the average price of housing, even in the lower income parts of the country, like Oklahoma and Arkansas, average housing cost is $300K. How are you going to do that? Even if you're a manager at the local Walmart in Bentonville, Arkansas, making $65K, how are you going to afford a $300,000 house if your wife stays at home with 3 kids?
Yeah,
you can't do it.
The hard thing too is that even bring it back to Uber. They came in, and part of what it was is not just cheaper rides, but also that you could go and be an Uber driver and you could make side money as a person who's just a working class, whatever, in your spare time. And
Good
now
point.
you have the government coming in on that side saying, no, like in California, they voted on like the Uber laws or whatever. You can't be an independent contractor because you deserve a living wage and you deserve benefits and healthcare. And that bothers me so much because it's like,
so you deserve better, so you can't have those.
You deserve better, so you can't do what you want to do. And it bothers me because so many of the people who do that kind of stuff, they don't want it to be their full-time job. They don't want health benefits. They don't want.
They want to do it nights and weekends.
They want to be able to choose when they work. They want to be able to pick their hours, do it once a week or twice a week or whatever. And
or if you're doing it full time, there's all sorts of benefits sometimes of going in of being an independent contractor. You write off the cost of the car, you write off the gas, you write off this, you write off that.
It's way better to be an independent contractor than it is to be an employee. Like,
I've been doing how to file taxes.
Yeah,
the only issue
hire an accountant.
The only issue with that is the health insurance market, which is so government controlled.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, we're gonna move on to some cultural things.
But yeah, so that wasn't economics for today.
I have a cultural note that I have noticed a huge difference from where I moved from to where I moved to, and that's that people say hi over here. People are way more friendly over here.
You're in God's country, brother. People will stop watering their garden to wave at you as you drive by, and they will turn around and feel you driving past.
Yeah, they wave all the way around. I'm telling you, I've had more friendly conversations in like 4 days than I have in 4 months where I'm from. Like, it's crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So segue into culture,
Go ahead,
If
Zane.
I can just comment on the comment from RK that you just showed. Tiny homes over $300,000 homes. Part of the reason why homes are so expensive is because if you look at the average size of homes being built today compared to 20 or 30 years ago, if you can get your hands on one, they are way nicer than houses from previous generations. And same goes with a lot of other consumer products that we have that are just way nicer than anybody 40 years ago could have imagined.
Define nicer.
I was just gonna say that.
You can talk about because you can talk about building methods.
Let Zane finish. Let Zane finish.
To the extent that people are buying stuff that doesn't last as long because they can't afford something nicer, I don't think that the solution is just to say, oh, if stuff isn't made like it's used to, everybody should just buy nicer products. The solution is to recognize that people's savings are being inflated away and they can't afford to buy nicer products. But I think it is important to point out that overall the standard of living has been going up, continues to be going up, and everything on an inflation-adjusted basis besides healthcare, homes, and education has gone way down in price, and those 3 things are where the government is most involved.
I'm going to add one in the automotive industry to kind of complement what Zane is saying with the nicer thing or whatever.
Compliment with an E?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Not the I. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So we just got a new car. I had an 04 Honda Element for the longest time. I had it the entire time when we were at SCAD and everything.
Yeah.
I didn't even have ABS brakes or cruise control on that fucking thing. It was like an engine and it goes this way. Like that was it, right? And it was when I got it 14 grand, right? When it was brand new, it was 17.5. That was the price of it brand new. Go try to find a car for 17.5 now. Inflation or otherwise, it doesn't matter. Here's the problem on the government side. If you want a 5-star crash test rating, they won't give it to you unless you include literally all of the things that you can include for safety. And like Honda has the safety sensing Honda suite, whatever the fucking hell. Like it'll drive the car for you. It vibrates if you go off the lane. I hate it, half of it, because it just drives me crazy. We're going through construction.
And the trilingual stuff, you can't rip off the visor about the airbags.
You gotta pay
Jesus Christ, how do you rip it off?
Alarm going off instead of focusing on driving.
So the problem is the average price of a car is more now, and it is nicer, right? And it will, it'll massage your butt or whatever while you're driving, whatever the hell. But
or you
don't
have
have the
because
option.
that's required by law, even though.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But I don't have the option. The base model, they're like, oh, you get a manual seat. And I'm like, what? That's like $10 to get a power seat compared to like all the tech shit that's in it. It's like, oh, we're in a silicon shortage, but you have to have all this shit. And your car's going to take 6 months to get to you, and it's going to be $16,000 more than it should be, and you have no option to get one. Or you get a used car and you pay way more than it's worth right now, way more than a new car by percentage comparison, for what it's worth. So it's just a thing of like, it is nicer.
Unless you're Jake and you find a great deal.
There you go. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Unless you're Jake and you find a great deal on a truck.
You did get you stole that truck for
Tesla,
real, man. Like,
or the
or if you live in the city, Tesla just started selling $1,700 four-wheelers.
We were just talking about the price of four-wheelers, honestly. Anyway,
cyber quads is what they're calling them.
I like that cyber quad. The look of those things is awesome.
Right? That's so gangster. If I got 3 DUIs and I lived in the city, I'd be riding that to work every day, man.
Jake can put it next to his. What you're pre-ordered for a Rivian truck, aren't you?
No,
I thought you said you were trying to.
I was trying to, and then I got a Dodge Ram from 2006 that
with a Cummins engine.
That Rivian.
Yeah, with a Cummins engine with 130,000 miles that has a fucking 900,000 left to go. Like,
yeah,
right.
And you can filter your chicken oil and put it in a thing, and it'll fucking work.
And now Lexus is telling their employees after 100K, throw the car in the trash. I know a guy in Vegas that works for Lexus, and they're telling these guys that as it rolls off the assembly line, once it rolls 100K, get rid of it now, like immediately. Like, yeah, they're not made to last past 100K.
Jeez. That's crazy.
And they're still $70,000.
Your truck's a diesel, Jake?
Yeah,
turbo diesel. Yeah.
Does it need DEF?
What?
Does it need diesel emission fluid?
I have no friggin' clue.
Yes, it doesn't. It's awesome.
Yeah, apparently not.
See, once again, the government bullshit. You have newer diesels. You have to have a special fluid you put in there so that it emits less.
No, this is 2006.
Look into the process of like how that fluid is made and shipped around the world, and like what kind of carbon footprint it is just to get that fluid to you. And it's like it cancels out at best. Like, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been thinking of a troll that all the climate change alarmists. So with that, it's always the carbon this, the carbon that. I was thinking of trying to get a troll going where we say that it's where I draw up an idea here and say, all right, everyone needs to install this on their car, and basically it attaches to the emission and you dump ice in it. And what I'm going to say is, well, you're dumping 150 degree air out your tailpipe. That's what's causing. I mean, think of how hot it is when you stand right there. So what everyone needs to do is install these ice things and keep it iced up so that your air comes out cold and you stop climate change.
Sounds like refrigerated air conditions.
Okay. I just want to. I kind of want to do this and just see where it goes with it. Like take some.
Georgia Power here in Georgia, there was 3 of their biggest coal burning plants back in 07 to 09. They installed these jet bubble reactors, is what they called them. That there was 4 of them per smokestack for every coal burning plant that you saw, and the coal emissions would go in, and it would be this housed 9-inch thick fiberglass dome. It was 35 feet in diameter. It was 25 feet tall and 9 inches thick fiberglass, and there was a rotating arm inside of it. So there was jets installed on the walls, and there was a rotating arm with jets that sprayed water and pulverized lime onto the carbon smoke, and so it would just basically water vapor was the only thing coming out of these smokestacks after these things were installed.
Does the lime like bond with the carbon or something?
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
and then they can come in every 2 days, 3 days, whatever, sweep the soot out, ship it off, and then maybe it can be made into graphene. I don't know what the hell the other use was for it, but
carbon
it
and lime
used.
sounds like it could be used for growing stuff.
sounds like a cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drink that.
Yeah,
I would drink
but anyway, so zero emission coal plants were around 15 years ago, and each one of these things was $40 million back in that time. So I don't know what that would adjust for inflation, but so there's 4 of them per smokestack.
It
And
accounts for all the carbon that comes out of it, though?
So there were zero emission carbon plants were possible, still are possible, but for whatever reason, we're still told we shouldn't be burning coal. And it's a clean energy, so it just doesn't make sense why we're not using that, and that's a troll to use too.
Because the people who hate it, because the people who push these agendas hate you.
Yeah,
we should have an
pretty
episode where we talk about like energy in general.
I mean, Kamala Harris said it themselves, right? Once we reduce population.
Did you say that?
You guys miss that?
Yeah, no.
You mean-
I
you
didn't
mean-
hear
You guys
that.
miss that?
You mean
Or how
this
about
one?
Bill Gates?
Jake has it up. Yeah. Here, catch it.
There we go.
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
People are
Just gotta reduce
cheering.
population.
People are cheering for
Freudian
reduced
slip.
population.
Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, all the people that are really big into the climate activism, whether they realize it or not, I think the people at the
Whether
top
they
do realize
realize
it. I think the people at the top do realize it. The people, kind of the foot soldiers, probably don't. But they are anti-human flourishing, plain and simple. They have no regard
Well, when
for
John
what's
Kerry's
actually.
your climate czar and he's flying to every international meeting on his wife's private jet, I think they know exactly what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone else is just too dumb to, everyone fighting for it. That's, arguing.
Well,
all
and
this,
the
all
big
all
push
the
I'm hearing
stop oil
now-
protesters in Europe doing this bullshit or that bullshit.
So
They
here's
don't
the
know- they
next
don't
push
have any
too
school for
is wheat prices, grains and things like that. So you mentioned Erickson earlier. He's talking about it. Sean Hannity's talking about it. I'm sure it's not going to be long before we hear, Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro talking about how, we got to support Ukraine now because aside from us, they're the biggest grain exporter in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Grain prices are
oil in the world.
Good thing I bought wheat ETFs like 2 years ago.
There you go. Yeah, so grain prices are exploding now. Yeah, which by the way, if you're into fertilizer as well, Ukraine produces like half the world's fertilizer. So with them in turmoil, if they're not going to export grain prices are going to explode in Southeast Asia and all across Africa and parts of South America that rely on Ukrainian grain. So now it's our
Ukrainian.
Yeah, exactly. So now it's our humanitarian duty to support the war in Ukraine.
But
Did he fed
Did you
himself?
just boot your
I'll remove myself. I'll remove myself for that.
Yeah.
Good man.
Steven, I don't think you have to worry because Greta went and met with Zelensky a couple weeks ago, so they're going to solve it. Like it's going to.
Greta.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to worry about it.
Oh,
What
yeah.
is it? Thunberg or whatever?
All the cluster bombs have Greta's stamp of approval.
Which, by the way, can we cluster bomb the Canadian wildfires to contain them, please?
That would be great because I'm
How
getting
many-
it in freaking Montana.
We're talking carbon emissions.
I
Can
was
we,
just
can we
gonna
tell
say-
Canada to stop burning itself?
We'll just
I
tell
mean,
them to stop lighting them all at the
Partially,
same
I
time.
want it to burn itself, but then part of me is like, well, it kind of hurts everybody else in the long run. But
I mean, it makes the sunsets really pretty down here.
Yeah.
It
Well, I
does.
mean, who else is going to make the crappy beer that fires off World War III?
all right, we're going to the next one. Everybody, shut your mouths. Here we go.
Geographic has laid off its last remaining staff writers. This is go woke, go broke, but to a much more significant degree. and they explained it themselves as they say this: for decades, our coverage was racist. To rise above our past, we must acknowledge it. This was 2 years ago. It was so not racist. It was so the opposite of racist. I mean, just imagine you're some uncontacted tribe on some Javanese island or something, and here comes a steamboat with these men with technology 2,000 years beyond what your tribe has ever been able to manage. And these people are coming not to take your stuff, not to enslave you, not to do battle and kill you, but to take pictures of you, to learn about you, to write about you, in order to tell your story to the people across the world, so that your story, which otherwise would have gone totally untold, now is celebrated and cared about. It's the most beautiful advancement of the age of exploration that there's ever been. But it's over now because that was racist.
That music.
The music was too much.
Was over the top, yeah.
Harrison Smith goes hard. He's
hard.
trying to be the next Alex Jones.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy, but man, talk about a crazy thing. Like National Geographic no longer has staff writers because
what is it going to be, AI?
The New
or
York
something,
Times
or?
laid off. The New York Times laid off their sports desk, and they're now
who cares about the New York
contracting
Times?
that out.
Good.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if this is happening across media, right?
The failing New
laying
York
off-
Times.
the failing corporate press.
Learn to code, guys. Learn to code.
Okay, and now we're banned from
banned for
YouTube.
that.
Goodness gracious. Okay.
Maybe you got to tell them to learn to coal mine.
I mean, how freaking depressing is that? That National Geographic saw what their content was and thought of it as racist for just documenting things from around the world. Like just documenting random places that no one's ever heard of, no one's ever been to for almost 100 years. They go bankrupt or they lay off all their staff members, all that kind of crap, because they think it's racist to shed light on any civilizations that aren't us.
Well, there was that one tribe, right, that has never been contacted by anyone outside of their island.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember the video of them like shooting arrows at the drones and all that.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh yeah, Bill Gates just sprayed you with malaria. Good job. We'll see you later.
The ones controlled by the Indian government that people occasionally try to go to, and that one guy got murdered by going there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the North Sentinelese.
Yes.
The
Sentinelese, yes.
Yep. Yeah, that's a crazy one.
Good call, Zane. I was
It's
trying to think of it.
I just found that whole thing, like just where our culture is headed. How like what a beautiful thing National Geographic was for such a long time. And like I remember looking through those magazines when I was little and loving all of it.
He jerked off to him when he was 13.
Oh, good God.
What's even the argument, though? Is it just that the
culture
portrayal
destroys everything.
of certain people is like stereotypical? Like I don't even know what the argument.
I think that's what it is. Like they like helped facilitate stereotypes and help continue like to perpetuate what we thought of certain nations as what their pictures were, which was inherently racist.
What about the Ethiopian tribe? You know, with the body positivity, where like the dominant male was the one with the biggest belly. You know, what about that? So let's throw their own mantras back in their face here.
Yeah, and in this same vein, did y'all know that coffee is racist?
Oh yeah, I mean,
did you know that drinking coffee perpetuates white supremacy?
Really?
Yeah, by black people for black people, and now a pillar of white supremacist capitalism.
If you consume coffee, you are helping an industry built on racism.
Well, what the coffee plant originated in Ethiopia, right?
Yeah, all this time I thought I was helping the farmers in Chiapas rebel against the Mexican government.
If only like Christianity also originated from Africa. You know, if it only came from that nation as well. Like these people are morons for thinking that white supremacy has anything to do with coffee.
Technically, Israel's in Asia.
There we go. I would love for that reporter and that editor to go to Sumatra for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, this is just like a low key ad for Mudwater. This whole thing. Like,
low key ad for Mudwater.
I'm not talking about Kopi Luwak. I'm not talking about that stuff. But Sumatra, like
Kopi Luwak, the weasel shit.
The number one place in the world where they behead Christians. which is also Starbucks' top-selling coffee.
Here we go, Hannah. Here's a better answer to your question.
that
It was
makes
racist in that it relies on the view that civilization is superior. Documentation was not racist. The sales view was, though. Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean,
it's absurd.
That at least makes more coherent sense than the alternative.
There's a way to say, yeah, we don't do what we did in the past, and we're going to go forward providing.
So what about the white Aborigines? How do we reconcile
They're white
that?
supremacists.
Yes, they are. That's right. Yeah.
I thought we already established this because black people can be white supremacists too.
Yeah.
We discovered.
How dare you live on that tectonic shelf for 40,000 years? You racist.
Yeah. It's insane.
I mean, this is why it's not worth engaging with the cultural Marxists in any way except to point and laugh. Because no matter how many diversity training sessions Starbucks has, they'll just take it one step further. Your entire business model is racist, and then they'll make you apologize for that. And then they'll just do enough. They'll do another step and another step and another step, and you've just got to say no steps.
Well, and I saw the one meme with the Starbucks logo where it looks like Nicki Minaj with her ankles beside her head, and I'll never unsee that again.
All right, we have now moved into the just funny videos. I've got 4 funny videos for us to watch. So here we go. This is an old one, but it's a great one.
Zombie prank.
Nice.
Zombie prank. Okay.
Nice.
Zombie prank.
I think I've seen this a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a very old one, but man, it popped up in my feed and I couldn't stop laughing. So,
I forgot about it, so I'm glad you put it up here.
Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
That one's a good one. All right, here's another one. This is a wholesome one.
You're not allowed to have that. You don't know us from a hole in the wall.
The dog reached into this guy's grocery bag and just grabbed the hamburger buns and won't let go.
Yeah.
He's trying to talk about the grain prices.
Yeah.
You know how much money these hamburger buns will be worth in a year?
Yeah, he knows.
My retriever don't want none unless you got buns.
All right, so this is my kind of ice fishing. This is how I would want to do it if I were to do ice fishing.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Just wiggle. Okay, wait. Just barely. Yeah.
Wiggle. Just wiggle.
Oh.
They put a camera down.
No. Just wiggle it.
Cool.
Set the hook. Got it. Real. That was cool. Oh God, that was awesome. Oh man,
Nice.
hold on. Oh, it's a big one. We got to get him to straighten out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, on the camera too. No.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought that was fantastic.
GoPro fishing. That's awesome.
All right, so this one literally had me rolling. I watch it every single time that it pops up on my feed, which has been a lot recently. It was from the Comedy Mothership down in Austin recently.
All right. Toe Rogan.
There we go.
Thing you think we should know about you is what's something interesting about you?
I'm not retarded, but I like rocks. I just like how they feel. You know what I'm saying? They feel real good. I got this one.
Oh
It
my
just feel
goodness.
good.
Is that a rock?
Yeah, I got a couple of them. I like this one. I got this outside earlier. You know what I'm saying?
Have you always done that?
Yeah. I just like the way they feel. They just make me go to sleep and shit. You know what I'm saying?
What's something you think we should know about you?
I just love the opening line
about you.
Yeah.
I'm not retarded, but I
Have you
like
seen
rocks.
that Chinese stir fry? There's a Chinese street food, maybe Japanese, and call me racist for not knowing the difference. Yeah, there you go. But they take freaking pebbles, dude.
Yeah.
And they stir fry them, and they put these juices on them, and they grill them up, and they get them hot, and you put the rocks in your mouth, and you suck on them, and you spit them out in the trash can. That's a new fad because communism, that's food. But No, for real. Like that's a for real thing. Like it's like street food.
Wow.
Stir fried rocks that you suck on just for flavor and then spit them out.
This reminds
You know
me
what they
of
say, dark humor is like food. Not everyone gets it.
That's right. I think Stalin said that, right?
Jake, do you know the scene from not Arrested Development, Parks and Recreation, where they go to that weird place and they have like the cocktails that are like, and Ron Swanson gets the scotch like perfume and he keeps smelling it all night. Like
it's the lotion
or hand lotion. That's what it is.
Somebody rubs hand lotion whiskey on his hands.
But he's like I don't want that, and then he's like sniffing it all night. Like that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, I just like the opening line. I'm not retarded, but I like rocks.
That's great.
So good. I want to
great.
see what the rest of that guy's bit was.
That's great. Well, that's how most penguins get laid, by the way.
By presenting a rock.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the male that presents the smoothest, flattest rock.
Yep.
It's a skipping stone, man.
Gets the female, and that's legit how I got a girlfriend in 8th grade.
I was just gonna say, man, that would work for me. I think. Yeah.
So was that in the
Steve the
director's
Penguin.
cut of Happy Feet or what?
No, this is long before Happy Feet, bro.
This is Happy Skeet, man. This is a different thing.
Happy Feet was like 05. I was in middle school like 98. So
all right, y'all. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. This has been a great episode. Thank y'all so much for joining. Everybody out there listening and watching, thank y'all for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the podcast, if you have any questions about the idiot things that we've been saying all night, go to lpgeorgia.com to learn all about the Libertarian Party of Georgia. You can email me personally at podcast@lpgeorgia.com. Hit me up on Twitter at DJ Green at Peaceful Sea Productions. You can hit up Steve. I don't know. Steve, are you on Twitter? I don't even know.
yeah, I technically I am. I don't really monitor it, but
don't talk to Steve on Twitter.
Yeah.
Zane
What's Twitter?
is Rothbard Enjoyer, which is he's got to get a new name because it's absurd.
Hilltongs too. Find me at Hilltongs too. You can chat.
Just
with
go
me.
with your
I've been there a
real
while,
name,
but
Zane.
I'm there.
Fuck it.
Hilltongs
Just fuck
too.
it. Less fucks you gave the better.
Apparently, Nick has just founded the Bitcoin Caucus in the Libertarian Party, so you can go follow him at Bitcoin Caucus.
Follow the caucus at Bitcoin Caucus, and we got a whole link tree in there. We got a Facebook page and Discord on the way soon. Signal notification group. We got a Signal check going.
Just Signal. No one wants Discord. Just blow up
it's
Discord.
Easier,
Somebody
it's
murder
easier
it in its sleep.
It's easier to keep track of stuff. I got RSS feeds of great articles coming in on there already. It's like it's gonna be a really sweet fucking thing. But
I don't care about.
Yeah, whatever.
Stop talking about Discord.
The irony is that blow up Discord means to like use it heavily, though. I think actually. So
Alden, shut your mouth. Alden,
we got all that.
Are you telling him to hoist himself by his own petard? Is that what you're saying?
You can also go to Bitcoin. You
This
can also go to bitcoincaucus.com. The only thing on the website right now is a sign-up form. But sign up, and as we get going on this, we're going to be looking for help. I want to get some money coming in eventually soon and some other stuff. So it's going to be real cool. So I highly recommend come out and join the Bitcoin Caucus.
Coming soon. Bitcoincaucus.com.
Shout out to Alden for making a logo.
Yeah, man, I'm sad I didn't notice the handle on the under your name. I should have recognized it.
Nice. All right. Well, y'all, again, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank y'all for joining us. Hannah, it's been a pleasure. Way to win the first guest spot in trivia. Good job.
Happy to rep for the guests.
Tyler first guest stop and first guest.
I know. I'm proud. It was a tie. And,
it was a tie. It was a tie.
No
but we're not going to give. We're not going to give your other guys
Asterisk.
Dare I say she came in hard and swift.
Oh, good God.
Thank you.
All right.
I got less than half of those. Zane is the Swiftie of the group. Let it the record show.
All right, y'all. Be sure to tune in to the Free Georgia podcast on Monday nights, Tuesday mornings, and then come back next week for more Liberty Libations, 8 p.m. Eastern, here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey, all of the above. Make sure you subscribe, like the videos. All of it. Thank you all for joining us. Slancha. We'll see y'all later. Peace.